It's dark in Atlanta. Gabby, we ready? Good? Got me? Got me? And we're there. We are there. You may as well consider us there. It's Friday morning, 6:03 on a Friday morning. Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. We're up and rolling. Hope you're doing well. On anything. Jen? Hey, I'm on number 3. You got me? All right. Okay. I'm ready to go. All right. 6:03, 6:04. All right, Jen, are we up and rolling now? Now, how about now? How about now? How about now, brown cow? Jen, are we good to go? Are we fired up? Are we good? We are now good to go. The intricacies of doing the show is I made a audible. I called an audible, and I am in Atlanta. Or I was in Atlanta this last night. I watched the Braves game. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw Spencer Strider. What a night from Spencer Strider. Oh my goodness. 16 strikeouts last night, setting a Braves record. And I am in the hotel room here as I had an opportunity. I'm with my good buddy. He's over there passed out with a pillow over his head, and he's going to have to listen to a radio show for 3 hours. Michael Jordan, my buddy MJ, here in the hotel room with us. But a couple of us sneaked away for the start of a beautiful Labor Day weekend, and the Braves with a win last night. And now we start Labor Day weekend. That's right. Welcome in. It's the early game. Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen will be joined by Patrick Perrette here in about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll have Chris Deering on this morning. I'm fired up and ready to go. I hope you are as well as we get up and rolling. You can join us this morning, 803 404 6100 is how you can be a part of the program. RLDC, LeVar, all up and at it with us on the live stream at 6:05. And yeah, it is that day where we have kicked off some football last night. Penn State and Purdue, Pittsburgh and West Virginia. And you got great games. You got really good games last night
that kind
You
of entertained you,
know,
should have entertained you.
uh,
31-28 was the
I think
I think that was actually the score before Penn
State
State
poured
poured
one in at
one
the
in at
end
the end
to
to
win
win
35-31.
35-31.
You had, again, West Virginia and Pittsburgh with a fantastic game last night. It was an entertaining night. And again, I was in Atlanta for the Braves, where Spencer Strider said it was absolutely fantastic. 16 strikeouts last night to set a Braves record. Quick game, by the way. Best way to watch baseball is with a quick game. I'm not one to sit there and catch a very long, very drawn out game. And so last night, even more entertaining because it was a very quick game. But Spencer Strider striking out 16 players there. My first trip to Truist Park, I should add. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you get a chance next year, come over here and check it out. It's worth it. I am actually sitting at the Omni Hotel just outside of the stadium, on the backside of the stadium. If you check me out on the live stream, you can go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, and I think my view is more of the back toward Atlanta there. But awesome time, great event, and I am ready for the start of college football season as we really get going here. Now, if you want to weigh in, 803 404 6100 again is how you can do so. We'll get the poll question up and running this morning. What do you think is going to happen? It's game day, baby. Or it's as far as we're concerned, it's game day. I'm not doing the pregame show anymore. Soccer issues will take away from that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's time to start getting those final predictions in. Put your name behind it this morning. What do you got? Who do you think? How do you think South Carolina will play tomorrow? What do you think Spencer Rattler will do? We know Gamecock Larry will call in at some point and make his official prediction, and I want to hear the same from you. What is the official prediction this morning on the early game? Put your name behind it. Go ahead. Own up to it. We'll be back on Monday morning to see who was right and who was wrong. I am going South Carolina. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than the analysts predict. I'm going to think South Carolina is right around the spread, but I think for about 3/4, this is going to be one that's going to have us kind of biting our nails. I'm putting, not because I'm over here in Atlanta this morning checking out the opposition, but because I just think Georgia State's going to show up and is going to battle South Carolina. I think that Georgia State does things, run the ball, get to the quarterback, that South Carolina did not do well last year. They didn't stop the run. They didn't stop the opposition from getting to the quarterback. And I think Georgia State will create problems tomorrow night at Williams-Brice Stadium. Doing that, I think South Carolina will win the game. I'm going with roughly somewhere in the vicinity of 37-23, 30, but I think it's going to be low. It's going to be close. It's going to need a fourth quarter touchdown from the Gamecocks to put the game away. So you can weigh in this morning. You can go to our live stream where, again, Robin is up, ready to work out and then go teach the kids this morning. If you can go to that, you can go to 1075thegame.com, go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, click join, subscribe, or again, you can weigh in this morning on our text line, 803-404-6100. As always, you can call and join us as well. So we got a busy morning here, ready to get you up and going. I got a feeling work production throughout the state of South Carolina is about to significantly decline as we all get ready. Big soccer match as well tonight, South Carolina and Clemson over at Stone Stadium. It should be a lot of fun. So we've got a lot going on this morning. And again, hope you join us. Ron, AC, Richard, and Jim all weighing in on the text line. Ron from Lake Marion doing it at 4:52 a.m. So Ron was up about an hour earlier than I was. So very exciting. AC saying on the text line, really exciting backyard brawl last night. They definitely need to bring that rivalry game back. And I agree with you, AC. That was fun to watch last night. Very entertaining game, a lot of fun. Want to get into that a little bit this morning because I think what we see with Pittsburgh, West Virginia, as fun as it was a good Thursday night game. Right? Yeah, if you had a chance to watch last night, very entertaining, good Thursday night game. That unfortunately is a byproduct of conference realignment. It stinks to not have games like that. I don't want to say true dislike. Those are border rivals, but you have a true dislike of one another. Conference history going back to the Big East. And last night, Pittsburgh pulls out the victory, 38-31. A few other games from last night. Tennessee rolling over Ball State, 59-10. Oklahoma State holding on. Oklahoma State was up big, but they held on to win 58-44 over Central Michigan. Wake Forest rolling over VMI, 44-10. Fantastic game in the Big Ten. I was calling that Purdue upset. They let me down a little bit. They had a lead. They looked like they were going to pull it out. But Penn State finds a way to get it done. All you Purdue fans, Kevin Hurd, our good buddy, telling me to boil her up all week, and it was a 35-31 victory for Penn State last night. Tough game for them. That was a fun to watch. Both of them, really, honestly, both of them Pittsburgh, West Virginia, Penn State, Purdue. A lot of fun to watch. Took it in here from the Omni Bar last night. But Missouri rolling 52-24 last night. So you had that. Arizona State in the late game up wins 40-3. Fresno State, for you degenerates out there, stayed up until 10:30 and then caught Fresno State 35-7 over Cal Poly in the very late game. 803-404-6100 is how you can be a part of the program. We'll get into South Carolina, what they need to do tomorrow to make sure they secure the victory. I'll continue to get into my predictions a little bit. Patrick Perrette coming up at 7 a.m. this morning. He'll be on from 7 to 8 a.m. And then Chris Deering, as always, from 8 to 8:15, giving us the high school highlights of the week. So we got a lot for you this morning. Again, I look forward to you being a part of the program because, hey, it's back. College football is back, and we're ready to go live from Atlanta. What do you think over there, MJ? You up and awake? Yeah, I get a thumbs up there. My roommate for the night as we made a quick trip to Atlanta, catching the Braves last night. They roll over the Rockies 3-0. Spencer Strider. I got to see a team record strikeout deal from the former Clemson Tiger. It was a lot of fun to watch as the Spencer Striders, the Braves, rolled 3-0 last night. But Spencer Strider with 16 strikeouts in the game against the Colorado Rockies. A lot of fun last night. And man, that dude can throw a baseball really fast. A lot of fun to watch last night. And I am fired up, ready to go for some college football starting last night, but rolling on through tonight and tomorrow night and Sunday and Monday. You get the point. We're good to go. We're good to go. Hope you're good to go this morning. Jen is back in studio. Jen, how's it going there? We got a little sidetrack to start, but we doing okay there?
Yeah, I think everything's going okay. We'll get the live stream going here.
We'll get the live stream, but don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. We had I threw Jen and everybody a little curveball and came to Atlanta for the Braves game last night. Hadn't been over here. Had not been to Truist Park. Had not seen everything, the Battery and everything that was surrounding the Braves' new stadium. To me, it's new, and I'm encouraging you. If you get a chance next year, it's worth the trip. A lot of fun over here last night. Be back in Columbia later today and get ready for South Carolina and Georgia State. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, Patrick Perrette, due up in about 45 minutes. Chris Deering, due up in about an hour and 45 minutes. Drew, our good buddy Drew, he's got his prediction ready to go this morning. I like this. Hey, Drew. Drew is on the way to school, and he says 35-20. Gamecocks. Jalen Brooks catches a touchdown pass. Zach Pickens has 2 sacks. He says, good luck, Jalen Brooks. The Seidel, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Drew. I hope I'm saying your last name correctly. Seidel family, the Blythewood football community, they are fired up. They're taking on Westwood tonight. It'll be the game of the week on Fox this week. You can catch that. Should be a lot of fun. If you want to weigh in, send in your predictions, 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on the next Extra Point.
Hey, it's Pearson, and coming up on the Friday edition of the Extra Point, it is game day eve. Full reaction, predictions, matchups, final thoughts on the South Carolina-Georgia State matchup, and also looking ahead to a huge week 1 of college football. The Mason-Dixon line's coming up about 10:30. Wes and Chris's predictions on a lot of big games as well. It's going to be a loaded, fun Friday show. Coming up at 9 o'clock.
The Extra Point with Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central. 9 a.m. to all the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Just one accident to let people know about this morning, and that is Beatty Road at Broad River Road.
Aside from that, things move along fairly well this morning. Forecast, mix of clouds and sun today, 89 for the high. We do have chances for scattered storms tomorrow afternoon. A high of 87, some hit or miss storms on Sunday, 86 for the high. Right now, though, 76 at 107.5.
This is Zach Gelb with the CBS Sports Minute. It's time to predict the NFC. Forget about the Seattle Seahawks.
themselves. Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text Flash to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermal, our most powerful fat incinerator ever to help you get back in shape fast.
Well, yeah, let's see here. Not only should have West Virginia won that game, but Purdue should have won that game too last night. My goodness, Purdue. But our boy Brian Edwards is 1-0. He had Pittsburgh. He said buy him down. Or I guess he should have pushed. Let's see here. Let's get everybody up and rolling. Let's go to Twitter. Coffee is finally going over there. It's only taken a few minutes. Let's see here. (803-404-6100). Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game. I am coming to you. I'm live from Atlanta, Georgia. I've come over. Oh, I pretended I was coming over to catch the Braves and to catch Spencer Strider's 16 strikeout performance last night. I was actually coming over to scout, to do what I have to do to find out a little about the Georgia State Panthers. And as I was saying in the previous segment, this is going to be, and as I've said this week, this is going to be a fun opener. Not just because Sean Elliott's back in town, there's a connection. Not just because there's new LED lights in the stadium and the atmosphere is going to be incredible, but this is going to be a lot of fun because I think it is a great opening game. You know, you talk about these openers and we talk about schedules and, okay, we're going to go to 9-game conference schedules. Are we going to, upgrade and only play Power 5 opponents? What are we going to do? And I think for South Carolina, this is a great opener because it's going to test them. We will learn a lot about the Gamecocks on Monday morning when we reconvene and get together and start talking about what we saw. Georgia State can run the football and they can get to the quarterback. And, if you've listened to this program all week, you know that I'm big on South Carolina being able to run the football and protect Spencer Rattler tomorrow night. Can South Carolina's offensive line step up to the plate and protect Spencer Rattler? That's, I think, part of the interesting question of the 2022 season. Obviously, Marcus Satterfield and how he calls plays and what he does and so forth and so on is very entertaining. But can the Gamecocks take care of Spencer Rattler? And can they open holes for Marshawn Lloyd? We asked the poll question earlier this week. Do you think Rattler will throw for 265 yards, over under? What do you got? 803-404-6100 if you can weigh in on that already this week. But I think, this Gamecock offensive line coming out of the gate has got to be ready to go. It looks like according to the depth chart, 4 seniors will start and a junior. People who have played, guys who have played. This is an experienced unit. This is a unit that I will also put on Luke Day. We talk about the strength and conditioning program and that, struggle well. Luke Day's saying, I guess is the best way to say it, what he promotes, what he has value in, struggle well. Well, I like Luke Day. I think he's a good strength and conditioning guy. But, you've got to build your team up during the off season physically. And here is where we will learn, I think, more about Shane Beamer's strength and conditioning program, Luke Day's strength and conditioning program. I'm not saying South Carolina's got to go out and absolutely dominate tomorrow night, but they've got to be able to move Georgia State off the line of scrimmage. You've got to be able to go out tomorrow night and push them back by a yard or two and open holes for Marshawn Lloyd. There's a chemistry aspect, obviously, as well for the offensive line. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know where your steps are. You got to know where the blitzes are coming from. But I think tomorrow is also a testament to Luke Day and that strength and conditioning program. Is South Carolina improving in that area? One of the big aspects of the Steve Spurrier era 10 years ago was that Craig Fitzgerald had those guys ready to go physically from day one until the end of the season. We saw that. I'll never forget standing down on the sideline with a Clemson beat reporter back in 2011, I believe, or 2013, one of those 2 years where South Carolina won at home, and talking about the physical difference that South Carolina had, the men that South Carolina had standing down there. Granted, some great defensive lines, but the physical difference that South Carolina had, just looking at them as opposed to Clemson, and that changed. That's changed. Then you had, I can't even remember who replaced. Maybe some of y'all do, and I should be thinking of his name, but Joe Conley. Joe Conley, I think, came in, and then it went to Jeff Dillman, and now we're on Luke Day. But South Carolina strength and conditioning program needs to show up tomorrow night. You need to be able to knock Georgia State off the ball on the offensive line and run the football effectively against a defense that's pretty good at getting to the quarterback. That's the other thing. We talk about passing tomorrow night. Well, what is Spencer Rattler going to do? How many yards is he going to throw for? How many touchdowns is he going to throw for? What's he going to look like? Georgia State's going to get to the quarterback. They're going to find a way to get to the quarterback tomorrow night, but that's on the offensive line to be able to protect Spencer Rattler tomorrow night. And also it's on the offensive line to back them down with your run game. Just lean on them. Push them around. Show us that the offseason was worth it. 803-404-6100 is how you can be a part of the problem. Or we are part of the problem. Isn't that right, Jim? Or we are the problem. We're just fired up. Football's here. Will weighs in and says, I'll say under on the 265 yards. He says, I'll say under. Throws for 250 yards. Will offense, I assume, will run for 150 yards with backups getting playing time and reps once we get up comfortably. Gene weighing in on our text line this morning. Finally, the season is here. Go Gamecocks. Charles saying, do you want to hear a prediction from someone that picked Ball State to beat Tennessee? Charles, tough break there as we get going. 803-404-6100. I want to hear your predictions this morning, whether it's something for just individuals, Marshawn Lloyd, Spencer Rattler, Juice Wells, maybe Jordan Burch, whatever you've got as a prediction. Let's get them out there. Put your name behind it. You want to make a prediction? We'll archive it. We'll keep it. We'll roll, and we will bring it back up in December. Brett weighing in, saying I'm calling under 265 yards. Feels like this will be a heavy running type of game. I'm with you, Brett. That's where I'm at. I've got the under on Spencer Rattler tomorrow night, throwing for 265. I think South Carolina lines up and tries to shove it down Georgia State's throat, running the football with a combination of Marshawn Lloyd. I think Jaheim Bell gets carries. Juju McDowell will get in there. Rashad Amos. So I think even Dakereon Jordan gets some carries there out of the Wildcats. So we got a lot going on this morning. Again, if you want to be a part of the program, 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game. It's Bill Gunner. It's Jen Jensen. We're having a good time. We're up and rolling. Again, it's 107.5 The Game. Yes, we probably also need to discuss the fact that apparently at some point last night, Sir Big Spur is back. How about that? We'll get into that as well. But I also want to make sure you know that air conditioning, well, it's a lot of fun. Air conditioning is quite enjoyable. Maybe when you get to January and February and March, heat also a lot of fun. All that means is you need a HVAC system that is working properly. You want to make sure that your heating and air unit is ready to go each and every day with AAA Heating and Air. That is exactly what you get. They take care of me. They will take care of you. They're taking care of other folks on our station. And right now, AAA Heating and Air, it's a great time to look at upgrading, purchasing, upgrading again your heating and air unit because there are great deals going on. At the start of 2023, current HVAC systems, they're going to be changed a little bit. And that means you can get a great deal from AAA Heating and Air right now. Again, there's no better time as AAA Heating and Air must empty their warehouse to make room for new systems because after December 31st, it's likely going to cost you 30% more for a new Tier 2 HVAC system. So call AAA Heating and Air today and find out if they can help you. They guarantee financing, even if you've had issues in your past. Maybe there's a bump or two on your credit report and you're thinking, I'm not going to be able to get qualified. I'm not going to be able to get financing. AAA Heating and Air has got you taken care of. 803-677-1500. The absolute best part is a 15-year parts and labor warranty with AAA Heating and Air. They're going to make sure you get that. Not only are they going to make sure you get that brand new heating and air unit, they're going to make sure that it's taken care of. They don't just run away from you after they sell it. So call Roy and Dana Finley this morning. Get lined up for a brand new heating and air unit. 803-677-1500. Again, guaranteed financing, 15-year parts and labor warranty. AAA Heating and Air is going to make sure you're taken care of. 803-677-1500. That's AAA Heating and Air. Call them today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. We don't sleep in the car right back. But Charles is wrong. How do we do last night? We win the money. Right. We win the money last night or we take a loss? We win. Good job. All right, a little bit of hotel room coffee. I think this water is free. What do you think, MJ? Is this water free? Free. Is it free? Okay. We'll drink some water too. We'll find out. All right, Jason, what you got there? What's your prediction on the live stream? Jason's official prediction is in. He says, good morning to everybody. And he's going 38-17. It's a good prediction. Although I think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be closer. MJ, you think Charles can do a radio show this year? Probably at some point during the night. I don't plug my phone. Oh, thanks. Well, no charge. No, not even close. Oh, no, not even close. Oh, no, I don't know if this is actually. There we go. I think it's that outlet. Let's make sure we don't miss our comeback.
Jimmy G said he's happy, adding, quote, things worked out for the best. A huge blow for the Titans as Pro Bowl pass rusher Harold Landry will miss the season after tearing ACL in practice. And two more surprise moves Thursday. The Giants released starting linebacker Blake Martinez, while the Texans signed tight end O.J. Howard. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Hey, football fans, it's Dak Prescott here. And I'm here to let you know that with NFL Sunday Ticket.tv, you can watch your favorite football team no matter where you live. That's because NFL Sunday Ticket.tv gives you every live out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon, streamed right to your favorite device. Visit NFL Sunday Ticket.tv and order it today.
Eligibility restrictions and other conditions apply. Only one game may be accessed remotely at any given time. Available games based on device location.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
(803-404-6100). How you can be a part of the program this morning. Myself, Jen Jensen, we get you up, get you going. Anthony on our live stream, saying happy game day eve. And yeah, we're there. We've made it. The long off season is over. And last night you got some really good football, really good games. Pittsburgh and West Virginia, Penn State and Purdue. If you checked out those two, those have been the two that I was highlighting throughout the week as what I thought would be really good games. West Virginia and Pittsburgh, a rivalry game, the backyard brawl that had not taken place in about 10 years, 2011 being the last time that those two hooked up. Keaton Slovis last night throwing for 308 yards, and Pittsburgh finding a way. A pick six late in the game leads Pittsburgh to a 38-31 victory. Penn State and Purdue, another thriller. Aiden O'Connell, that quarterback that I was continuing to talk about, 356 yards last night. But Penn State finds a way to pull it out in West Lafayette. Sean Clifford, a guy who's been in college, I think, for about 13 years now, 20 of 37 for 282, 4 touchdowns for Sean Clifford last night, 1 interception, and Penn State pulls that one out with 14 points in the fourth quarter to win 35-31. So you got some really good football last night. Now we move on and we get set for a Friday night that doesn't quite have quite the hype, quite the billing that last night had, but nonetheless, we'll have more college football tonight. Your schedule for tonight, if you're wondering, Michigan State hosting Western Michigan. Of course, that intense interstate Michigan battle there, Western Michigan and Michigan State, that always is known to live up to the hype. Virginia Tech will be on the road tonight, ESPNU, 7 p.m. They'll travel to Old Dominion. Temple and Duke, a thriller for the Duke Blue Devils, 7:30 ACC Network. And if you want to stay up late, I got to admit, it's that kind of night. It's a Friday night. Why not stay up late? You can check out Heath Klein's favorite team, the Colorado Buffaloes, hosting TCU tonight, ESPN, 10 o'clock. I forgot, how did I ever leave out Illinois at Indiana, 8 o'clock on FS1. But I know all of you are fired up to follow along with Heath Klein. I'm sure he'll be tweeting rapidly at 10 p.m. tonight, TCU in Colorado. So you get a good, nice selection of games tonight to kind of get you fired up. But I tell you, the most important one is the fact that South Carolina men's soccer team, our good buddy Tony Annan, they'll be hosting Clemson tonight over at Stone Stadium. That's where I will be at for the rivalry game. Get fired up, and we will certainly want to see how South Carolina's soccer team does tonight against the Clemson Tigers, as the Tigers, the number 1 ranked Tigers, I should add. Give them a little bit of credit, put a little respect on that name, right, my buddy Jim in Carolina Beach? Put a little respect on that name. Make sure that everybody knows the Tigers are number 1 there in the soccer world right now. Last night, the women's team rallied against Clemson, but it ended in a draw. So Shelley Smith's team, the number 4 ranked soccer team in the country there, they ended up with a 2-2 draw against the Tigers in women's soccer last night. So your weekend is off and running. You had a little bit of rivalry action. The Clemson Tigers traveling to Stone Stadium for the women's match last night, and it was a 2-2 draw. 19 shots on goal by Clemson, 12 for the Gamecocks. Tonight you get the men's game there over at Stone Stadium. A reminder about the tailgate going on between the athletic buildings, the Doty and the Rice Athletics building over there. You can go out there and you can get a pregame, early game tailgate going on. So we got a lot going on this morning. 803-404-6100. Several of y'all weighing in. Will saying, yep, Penn State found a way thanks to Purdue's unsmart offensive coordinator who did not run the ball. I completely agree with you. Ronnie weighing in this morning says, I want to see South Carolina's offensive line give Spencer Rattler protection. If we do that, it'll be a good year. 31-10 Gamecocks. I'm with you, Ronnie. The offensive line tomorrow night is the absolute key. You've got 4 seniors back and a junior. You've got guys who have been around the program, the second year of Greg Atkins' system, the second year of Marcus Satterfield's system, the second year of strength and conditioning under Luke Day. All these things need to come together. And quite frankly, it is one of those things where I want to see it happen from game one. I don't want to show up on Monday morning and be talking to you or y'all about what the offensive line did and how it was first game jitters. This offensive, that to me is really the big story on Saturday night. You go to the ballpark and you say, okay, what do we hope for? What do we expect? Okay, I'm excited to see Spencer Rattler. Maybe I'm excited to see Juice Wells. Maybe you say you're excited to see George Strachan. Whatever it is, you want to see, to me, the offensive line come out from the get-go and be ready to go. Move Georgia State off the ball. Get fired up early on. Get Marshawn Lloyd some running room. Let him get greased up and going early on. I don't think you want to come out and throw the football. You think about that first series, and there's going to be excitement. There's going to be all that passion from Gamecock fans. Everything's going to be going on. You want to see that team come out, just shove, physically dominate Georgia State. And quite frankly, this is where I'm at with it. There's no excuse not to, right? There's no excuse that offensive line shouldn't come out tomorrow night and be able to dominate a little bit. In South Carolina, whether they get the ball first or whether they take the ball second, I personally like taking the ball second. Kick off, if you can win the toss, kick off, kick it to Georgia State, let the crowd really get frenzied up, get fired up, get a defensive stop, let those LED lights start blinking and flashing around, let Sandstorm play a couple times, let you smack your neighbor on the side of the head with your white towel, get fired up and get going, and then turn the ball over to the offense. Let Spencer Rattler and the offense come out second. 803-404-6100 if you want to continue to weigh in with your predictions this morning. A lot of you weighing in. We'll get to some of those. We'll also get to Patrick Perrette, who's coming up in about 15 minutes. Look forward to the return of Patrick Perrette and making our weekly predictions. That should be a lot of fun. It's Bill Gunner. It's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. Having people over this weekend, getting fired up for the big game, whatever it may be. Maybe you're not a South Carolina fan, you're listening, you're just listening for football talk this morning, but you're having people over this weekend and you're ready to go. Well, you want to make sure that house, that home looks beautiful. You want to make sure the carpet, the rugs, the tile, the upholstery, they all look insanely clean. Good news for you. I got just the company that can do that. Zerorez. They've taken care of me and my family for years. They'll continue to do it for me, and they'll do it for you. If you never give them a shot, now is the time to do it. They got a great deal going on right now. You can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119 when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game. You can give them a phone call, 803-262-4020, or you can schedule with ease, zerorezcolumbia.com. You can do that on the internet. So don't wait any longer. Get that home cleaned. Get that appointment set up today. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. All you got to do is remember my name, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game. You can schedule with ease, zerorezcolumbia.com, or you can give them a phone call, 803-262-4020. Patented no residue cleaning system. That's exactly what they use. I've seen it in person. Absolutely phenomenal. Will get your carpets, your rugs, your upholstery all insanely clean. Take advantage of their fall sale going on now. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119 when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game. 803-262-4020 or schedule with ease, zerorezcolumbia.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The Mega Millions jackpot for Friday is $169 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationlottery.com for jackpot odds in a store near you. The Gutterman is growing. Now hiring installers. The Gutterman has been providing top-line service for over 40 years. 791-7147. And look at their at 791-7147.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Get up. Cool. Thought you were going to be working hard downstairs. Jeez. Come on. We got a regular show we got to do. Come on, stop sleeping. My goodness. Some people.
I tell you what, some people aren't cut out for the nightlife. Just they think they can handle it, but they're not ready. They're not ready. We got questionable coffee at best here in the studio. In the Jen, I text you back. I don't know if you saw it. My phone is almost dead, but yeah, I text you back about that. We okay back there? You okay? I should be able to hear you if you talk to me now.
Yeah, should be okay.
Yeah, I got you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the. I mean, Patrick, I'm guessing should be hopping on the live stream momentarily.
Yeah, he will. I think it's to get the. I don't know if people are hearing. Are they hearing the air signal?
Yeah, I'm leaving mine so they can hear me through the computer.
Okay, but
Just like they can hear you. Just like they can hear you now. But
but so for when Deering calls,
that would be or if Gamecock Larry gets on the phone line. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure. We'll check into that.
That's the reason I said what his conversation was, that it sounds like it may be your login for the desktop, because you probably have it in like an auto save, and we'll figure it out Monday.
Yeah. What was the problem? What code for the live stream did you need? Is that for the computer or for you? Obviously, you're here, so.
Yeah, no, it's it wasn't a code. It's to be able to just log into the desktop. We used to log in with Patrick's login.
Right.
So can't do that anymore. So I guess it's your login. I don't know if I use my login.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, that should be okay. If you want to give it a shot.
I'll try.
Yeah, you can. But don't stress yourself on that. That of all the concerns I got. Do we have you sent me? I saw it on my phones.
You like 4 Beamer cuts?
Yeah, I'm gonna call for one right now.
Okay.
Somebody unplugged it in the middle of the night.
You're up.
803-404-6100. Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen coming up here in about 10 minutes. Patrick Perrette will be back. We'll make some picks. We got to have our weekly pick'em contest. We got to come up with a something besides Brian Glenn's spicy pizzas. They're good. They're delicious. See, that's the problem, Jen. They're delicious. His spicy pizzas are delicious. Brian Glenn's, that's not really a punishment, is it? I enjoyed the spicy pizza back in December when we did that. I could get on board with that. Some slices were spicier than others, but Jen eating a spicy pizza. Now, the liquefied like lasagna or steak sounds awful.
Terrible.
Yeah, that sounds like it. I don't understand Patrick's affinity for that kind of stuff. That just sounds brutal for the loser. That's where it is a bad situation.
Yeah, but I would totally agree. Like just getting a normal pizza of whatever variety from Brian Glenn, top notch. Like there is no punishment there whatsoever. That's solid. That's a reward.
That is a reward.
But liquefying some like.
I agree with you. 803-404-6100. Tomorrow night, there will be a couple guys that we're keeping a close eye on to see if there are injuries. Shane Beamer talked about that last night. It was his first season opener, well, second season opener, I guess. The first Carolina Calls of the year. And last night, he gave an injury update during Carolina Calls. Here's what he had to offer last night as it pertains to injuries for tomorrow night when the Gamecocks take on Georgia State. Here is Shane Beamer talking or giving an injury update.
Corey Rucker will not play. We were hoping he'd take it back. He got it, so hopefully we'll have him next week. Christian Fields, who I would say is questionable right now, he practiced on Tuesday. and there's been a little bit more limited the last couple of days. So we'll see how he does over the next 49 hours or so. And then who was the other one? Kai Kroger. Kai actually punted. He punted yesterday and he punted today, and felt good. Whether he goes out there or Alex Herrera, Alex has done a great job. Kind of taking that punting competition and really doing a nice job as the second punter. So Alex can punt if needed on Saturday night, and Kai will be available as well. We'll kind of see how Kai feels over the next couple of days, and hopefully we don't have to use either one of them Saturday night. We don't have to punt. Kai's also a holder though on field goals, so that gets to be a little bit of a concern too because he hasn't had a ton of work on that either.
That's Shane Beamer. The Corey Rucker news obviously is something we've debated a good bit. I know Corey has talked to some people on Twitter and said that he expects to be back by the Arkansas game. My personal opinion is it may be a while for Corey Rucker. We will continue to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, it feels like Corey Rucker could be out for a lot longer. But it's a blow, but South Carolina should have depth at the wide receiver position. Juice Wells making his first game appearance for South Carolina. The improvement of Xavier Legette, Josh Vann, and then obviously just talk about other pass catchers in Josh Vann and in Jaheim Bell and Austin Stogner. Stogner will be an interesting guy. 803-404-6100. I ask you this question. Who is the leading pass catcher tomorrow night? 803-404-6100. You can hit me up on Twitter at Will, W-I-L, Gunter, or you can weigh in on our live stream. Go to youtube.com. I'll ask that question because a lot of options there. Josh Vann's back. Austin Stogner is making his first appearance as a Gamecock, but he's got the chemistry with Spencer Rattler. And I feel like Stogner is the guy you look at as someone who is likely going to be the leading pass catcher tomorrow night. So who exactly do you go with as the leading pass catcher? I think that's an interesting question. Again, because the passing game, I don't think you want to rely on it too much. You want to run the football. I think you want to get Marshawn Lloyd his touches. I think Juju McDowell is a guy that certainly deserves a lot of touches tomorrow night. But I guess my question to you this morning as we kind of roll through here is, who do you think is the leading pass catcher? I think it'll be Stogner. I think the chemistry there, I think Stogner down the middle of the field. I really do agree with what some of you have said this week that Georgia State is going to load the box. They're going to force South Carolina into passing situations, into passing downs, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 5, so forth and so on. And Stogner coming out of that tight end position, I think is, because of the chemistry, is the most likely guy that South Carolina goes to or that Spencer Rattler looks to on Saturday night. But I want to hear your opinion as well. Who do you think is the leading pass catcher? Coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll catch up with Patrick Perrett. Look forward to that. Patrick will be joining us each and every Friday. We got to make some picks this year as well. We got a pick 'em contest that we've got to do. So I've got to get some games together. Certainly South Carolina, certainly Clemson, as they will look to demolish Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech stinks this year. That's going to be an awful Monday night game. We're forced to watch Clemson, and we're forced to watch a really bad football team. And we're forced to watch Georgia Tech as well. I'm just kidding. It's that time of season, as Gamecock Larry likes to call it, talking season. Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, coming up next. Patrick Perrett will join us. We'll get our picks in. He'll weigh in with his thoughts on the weekend. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
How you feeling, buddy? Jeez. Some people aren't cut out for the nightlife.
Let us build your outdoor living space. Call Midland Landscape Home 356-8080 or midlandlandscape.com. The bomb device will send one around the back of the next evolution. We'll try to launch for lots of reasons. Like the site is now
Good morning.
Hey, it's Fresh Face Patrick. What episode are you on?
I'm hearing commercials in one. I don't know if there are commercials. Are we on one? Is Navage on right now?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So you're on one. Okay.
Hello.
Perfect. I got you.
Sweet.
I was guessing with Bill. He didn't tell me earlier what he was on, and it's like, I don't hear you on anything.
I saw that he was at the Braves game yesterday, and I was like, is he having a show tomorrow? Like, there's no way Bill's driving back from Atlanta at midnight and doing a show.
No. So, yep, he is, as you can see in the background, he's in the hotel room, waking up his roommate.
Just one roommate?
Yeah, I don't think it was a big, sorority slumber party.
All right. Hey, look who's there. Hey, welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Curtains are back. Now all we need is Polly, and it's...
I know, right?
Polly.
Oh.
I need to start bringing my dogs in. That'd be fun.
Oh, we just took her out.
There.
Just took her out. Polly had a...
She, It was a late night because of the Purdue game, but she's been getting 5:30 a.m. WALKs all week. So
Yeah.
she's a little more energized right now.
That's
Keep
awesome.
your speaker on so everybody can hear you. Because I guess you've heard or you've been texting, you understand we're not able to hook through the computer back at the studio.
Go.
Hair looks good too. Got up, you fixed your hair. Right on, yeah.
Looking spaz.
Yeah, I'm still getting up at the same time. Not same, a little bit later.
I'm noticing that
I haven't shaved.
Creating a beard. I like that.
All right, you guys are up.
Hour number 2, it's 7:01 on your Friday morning. Get up, get fired up. Football is officially back. We had some great games last night, and I did a weird thing. I decided to come to Atlanta to take in a Braves and Rockies game because why not? Why not start your Labor Day weekend with a little baseball? Spencer Strider.
Waited all summer, and then on the first big night of football season, you go to a baseball game?
Yeah, that. It made no sense. And it was a last-minute decision. Patrick Perrette joining us as he will each and every Friday. He didn't go far. He's just there. His hair looks good. He's growing a little bit of a beard. I'm looking at him on the live stream. You can go and check us out. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game. Yeah, Patrick, this is my first visit to Truist Park, and I got to admit, had a blast last night. It was a really good time. $43 for a bourbon and water and a vodka Sprite or whatever we had, but that's okay. I had a lot of neat things. I'm telling you what, baseball is unique in that way, right? Like we've talked about going to a Nationals game. You go to the stadium, you see the surrounding areas, you enjoy the food in the stadium. Saw several people with lots of great looking food. I didn't do the food last night, but good little time. I can't complain at all. It was not bad. And Spencer Strider throws the ball really fast, Patrick. 16 strikeouts, broke a Braves record last night.
Are they so they're in the wild card right now? The Mets are still leading the division, I guess?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't be more punched out of baseball at the moment. But I mean, it looked fun. Like, I would like to go. I find I have never loved Atlanta, but I do like the scene around Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think it's a good setup for big games and stuff like that. So I would go to a game. Maybe I'll just have to wait till the Nats play there next year, and hopefully they have some actually exciting players to watch and not all just scrubs, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm planning a trip with the kids to DC next year, so maybe I'll take in the Nationals Park. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. Patrick, let's ask you a couple things that I've talked about this week. One of them is the over-under on Spencer Rattler passing yards on Saturday night. 265 is what I set it at. I've said 6 games. 6 times in the past 35 games, I believe, is the number I set it at. I've got to do very quick math here, but somewhere in that ballpark, South Carolina has thrown for over 265. It doesn't happen often. Quarterback play has not been the best thing for South Carolina of late, but Spencer Rattler comes in, he's the best. You taking the over 265, and if so, why?
If he plays the entire game, I almost want to say that it could be. If he doesn't throw for 265, it's either a very good thing or a very bad thing, because it means that he's sitting on the bench in the fourth quarter and doesn't have to play. But I don't know that I see that happening. If he plays 4 quarters, he should definitely throw for 265 yards. I'm trying to pull up some of his other stats. I mean, it's not like he was lighting it up every time that he started at Oklahoma either. I'm seeing versus Nebraska, he only had 214 yards, 256 against West Virginia. This was last year. 2020 season. I'm assuming it was a lot better. But just because South Carolina does it, like, we're in a new era now. We're in an era where he needs to be doing this all the time. And yeah, he's got like 5 300 yards games in 2020. On my gut, that number needs to be hit.
Well, you say that. You say we're in a different era. But isn't there an element of we have to run the football tomorrow night? Isn't that what you come out trying to accomplish? You're trying to do early on is run the football. I think set the tone early by getting into the run game and getting Marshawn Lloyd going, right? Are you're not with me on that?
No, I think you try to. That doesn't mean it's going to be successful. And I hope you don't just get stubborn with it and say, all right, well, Marshawn Lloyd's not really working. Let's put Jakeem Bell back there and hand him the ball, because now people are talking about him getting 10 to 15 carries a game. It's like, what are we doing here? That cannot be happening. Give him a couple end arounds, give him a couple carries maybe, but we can't be relying on him to pick up yards for us when it's not working. So, no, I think they'll try, but if they're dominant in the run game, that would be a great sign. If Spencer Rattler only has 19 attempts and we just run for 250 yards, then, yeah, that would be fantastic. I would love that. But it doesn't feel like that's going to be the case, and maybe they do just completely dial it back. I would not be upset if it's very clear that the game plan is dialed back and there's a lot being left in the holster for Arkansas. Don't want to show too much. If the running game is able to work that way, and the first drive, it can basically be handoff, short pass, handoff, short pass, touchdown. Like, that would be fantastic. That would probably be the best sign of all if South Carolina could just pick up 6 to 8 yard chunk after 6 to 8 yard chunk and just drive down the field and score a long touchdown.
Well, Patrick, I've said that this week about, what you're kind of talking about there. This offensive line, there's 4 seniors back. And not only are they seniors, they're kind of super seniors when you really start to break it down. Eric Douglas enrolled a few years before you did. But, you look at that offensive line, 4 seniors. You've also got Marshawn Lloyd back, who's a junior, who's in his 3rd year. And this isn't I'm not knocking Luke Day, but it is his 2nd year of the strength and conditioning program. It's the 2nd year for these guys in the system. I don't want to have to come on here on Monday morning and be trying to explain or make excuses for the offensive line if they don't perform well. From that opening drive, I think they've got to come out, knock Georgia State off the ball. You've got to be able to run the football. And you've got to be able to protect when you want to pass, not just using the play action pass, but you've got to be able to protect Spencer Rattler.
It won't be a good sign if you're in on Monday and you say, we won the game because we were forced to pass, because our athletes were better on the outside, but whenever we tried to run the ball, it wasn't like South Carolina was overwhelmingly out-physicaling Georgia State. Like that should be the key. There was no doubt about that against Eastern Illinois, that South Carolina was bigger, stronger, faster at every single position, but that was an FCS team. This is an actually good team that plays in bowl games and has put guys not at the same level as most Power 5 teams, but they've put a couple guys in the NFL too, and one of your better players on defense is from that school. Like, they do have talent on that team. Don't get it twisted. If you can't out-physical them, though, it isn't going to bode well for a trip to Fayetteville, Arkansas next week and expecting to beat a team that's known to be big, strong, and physical and maybe not as skilled on the outside. Like, that's just – it's not going to be a good omen for traveling to Arkansas.
Yeah, and we're gonna learn about Arkansas too. Playing the Cincinnati game. Look, I'm not saying that I think Arkansas will beat Cincinnati. As a matter of fact, Patrick, yesterday, Brian Edwards from VegasInsider.com, who you can go back and listen to that podcast if you want with us. Jen has got it up, but Brian had Arkansas as one of his 4 picks of the week. He took LSU, Arkansas. He took Pittsburgh last night, but he was adamant that you bought it down to 7. So I guess he gets a push there. But he had Pittsburgh, LSU, Arkansas, and I need to go back and look at his 4th game. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. But, Patrick, I mean, that's one thing. Arkansas is not going to be able to hide a lot either. But South Carolina, I don't know how much you necessarily try to hide. I think you go out with the intention, hey, this is us. This is us, man. This is what we do. Show it, play it, go with it. And you know what? You can't sleep on Georgia State. You got to go out. This is a team, again, that was 7th last year in sacks against the quarterback, and they're a very good running team.
Yeah, I don't know if you can prepare. This is what I was thinking a lot about this week too with some other teams. Like, I'm doing college fantasy now, and I drafted Luther Burden, and I was like, I wonder if Missouri is going to try and keep Luther Burden a secret for another week and just sort of unleash him in their first big game. I don't know if South Carolina can afford to do that or not, but I also don't know if the coaching staff can prepare. Plan A is, hey, let's just run all over them and do very basic pass concepts, and we're just going to make them work because we're better than them. Or is it, hey, look, this is a good team. We can't afford to not win, and we can't afford really to not dominate at this point either. There's too much relying on it. It's going to be a big game. A lot of people are going to be there. We have to give them a show. I don't know how much they're thinking about that part of it, and if it's easy enough to adjust on the fly and say, hey, the running game's working. Let's just go ahead and not do this. Let's not do that. Or if it has to be a conscious effort of, this is the game plan, this is what we're going to stick to, and it doesn't matter who we're playing or who's watching or what we put on tape.
I'm not worried. I'll say this. This is a game where you win and you build confidence within your program. And look, Arkansas is good. I don't know what, there's certain like wrinkles, right? Like Arkansas knows, and this is a great question, and it's on our live stream, and it's something that we've kind of beat around the bush on. Larry says, where does DeCarrion Joyner fit in? And I think that's a legitimate question, Patrick. Like, yeah, we talk about Xavier Legette like as a backup wide receiver. Okay, Corey Rucker's not going to play. We talk about Juice Wells. What is he going to do? Josh Vann, Austin Stogner, Jaheim Bell. You get the point. We talk about a lot of guys. Well, DeCarrion Joyner is back. And Patrick, where do you see DeCarrion Joyner fitting in tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I bet he'll get a couple carries and a handful of snaps. I'm interested to see what it is tomorrow night versus next week, because it's not like Arkansas will be surprised by DeCarrion Joyner. That was always the thing last year, is we would say, hey, you're playing a really good team. You need to be able to run the football. Why don't you give DeCarrion Joyner some snaps? If you're going to need some juice or you want to sneak up on them, let him throw a couple passes. Like just put a package in for him, because at least there's going to be a question about what he's able to do. There's no question when Jason Brown or Zeb Nolan is back there. If they don't hand the ball off, it's a pass. It's very obvious. It's not that obvious with Spencer Rattler, but at this point, Arkansas has watched the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Their coaches have probably watched it a million times this year. They know that what DeCarrion Joyner can do, and they'll probably be expecting it. So whether you put him out there against Georgia State or not, it's not like the other team won't be prepared for it. So I expect him to take, I mean, maybe 10 snaps. I expect him to take more snaps at quarterback than have touches otherwise. Like, he'll probably catch a couple balls maybe later in the game, but I don't think he'll be doing much with the first team.
803-404-6100 coming up in about 18 minutes. We'll do our picks contest. Georgia State against South Carolina. North Carolina versus App State, Patrick. I put that on our list for this week because North Carolina only a 3.5-point favorite going to Boone and taking on App State. They were, I don't know what you would label them as, impressive, not impressive. They weren't impressive, but last week against a very downtrodden, depleted Florida A&M team. Oregon and Georgia, Utah and Florida, Notre Dame and Ohio State. We'll get your take on several games coming up, as well as some NFL news. Jimmy Garoppolo, Patrick, is going to hang around with the 49ers. We'll get your take on that. We'll make some picks. It's Bill Gunner. It's Patrick Perret. He's here. Polly the dog is on the live stream. If you want to, okay, she's not on the live stream, but she's around, right? Yeah,
she's right here.
True star of the show there. True star of the show. And Jen Jensen. Jen Jensen is along with us this morning back in Master Control, making sure everything is working properly and we sound good. And I have come all the way to Atlanta to avoid a Friday morning head slap, as Jen would like to give me. She is violent in the studio. Save it for Monday. We will be back on Monday. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Patrick Pratt, and Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. Okay. Welcome back to Carr. Hadn't seen you this week. I'm stopped up a little bit. How's the view? Okay, view. You can't really see the stadiums on the other side.
Yeah, morning, everybody. Morning, Carr. Morning, Hope. Robin, we moved. I'm here. In Nashville now. Pitt did look decent. I mean, they're maybe a little bit better than decent. We'll see. But that defense is legit. Their defensive line is legit. Greg, DC, CW. What's up, everybody?
Rockstar status.
Got to break out the 3 TV setup yesterday.
Nice. A good day right there.
I don't know how many people up at 7:15 were up until whatever 12:30 or what it was for the end of the Purdue game.
Didn't get to see it.
Oh, Robin, we're not. Yeah, we are moving at the end of this month, beginning of October, to a different apartment. Yeah.
It's so fun to move.
I've heard it's a blast.
Yeah, I've done it quite a bit.
You have been. You've been moving all over.
I've lived in Granby. I've lived in 7 houses, 7 different places now since 2015.
Well, when you're running from the law, that happens.
Yeah.
So, if you start straighten up and fly right, you won't have to do that so much. Of course, watch, there's a new live stream person on. It's like, what? What's this about, Patrick?
I just sleep well throughout the night, Craig. She finds inconvenient spots to sleep, like in between my legs, but
yeah,
she doesn't wake us up.
One of ours is really good at waking me up at like 2:30 or 3, wanting to go out when my alarm goes off at 4. So that's pretty maddening. Like really, or even like 3:45. That'll just irritate the tar out of me.
Just almost right enough time where you can't go back to sleep.
Yep. Shortens the night really quickly.
And waking up and going out is a whole different thing too, because once you've actually gotten up and walked around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at least fortunate where I can open the door because
and let them go. Yeah.
But still, it's like I didn't want to get up. But yeah, so if you got to get out and then walk them, yeah.
So you've already gotten up and taken Polly for a walk?
No, not a full one this morning. It just took her out.
Just a quick one?
Yeah.
Weird. This was, like I said, this was a last minute decision to come over here. And that was fun. This is a neat little place over here.
You missed 2 great games.
No, well, shoot, the baseball game didn't last but 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Because Spencer Strive was just dealing.
Dude, both of them were.
Who'd they play?
The Rockies. They played the Rockies, and honestly, I only took the over of 4 in the first 5 innings, and I don't think there were 4 hits in the first 5 innings.
Wow.
The Braves did have first and third. They were up 3-0. They had first and third, the bottom of the 5th, and Austin Riley came up, and the Rockies made a pitching change, and we were hoping for me, I obviously wanted to push. I was just pulling for the push at that point, and Austin Riley, I think, flew out or popped out or something, but yeah. So we're planning to leave here like literally as soon as the show ends. I've got to go hop in the car. They're ready to go. We're trying to get back by noon.
At least there's not bad traffic in Atlanta.
Yeah, I've heard there's no traffic over here.
Well, you should be heading out like, tail end of rush hour, so that should help.
Yeah.
Going the opposite way.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not driving, so it's good.
I just don't do it. Like when I went to the game, the LSU Georgia game, was the last time I was in Atlanta. I just drove to the closest train station to Columbia. And
by the way, you heard me. I gave you those 5 games: Georgia State, South Carolina. There's a reason I left LSU Florida State off to give you a hint on my pick of the week.
Okay. Florida, Utah, Notre Dame, Ohio State, South Carolina, Clemson.
I didn't put Clemson on there. Should we take North Carolina off for Clemson?
No, North Carolina's a good one. That's an interesting game. Is Georgia one of them? Georgia, Oregon?
Georgia, Oregon.
Okay.
So we'll kind of go through the weekend slate right now when we come back. We're on the nobody needs to hear the whatever we're doing now. But yeah, we'll go through the weekend slate. We'll make our picks. And then what y'all doing this weekend? You hanging out?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not doing anything.
Good.
Oops.
I feel fat. I hadn't eaten this week, but I feel fat.
You're such a girl.
I am a girl, but I'm a pretty girl.
Actually, no, that's just insulting to.
I'm a pretty girl. Pretty girl. Pretty girl.
Ezra.
Oh, he's back. He looks glorious. His hair is fixed. He's got a weird 6 o'clock shadow going on around his face. You can check out Patrick Perrett live on our live stream right now. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, click join, subscribe, be a part. You can, you might, that's why people should go and be a part during the breaks. So you can be a part of the program. There's a lot of things that happen there. Craig, Robin, Larry, Patrick, not Patrick Perrett, Patrick Bowen weighing in this morning. Our good buddy down in the dungeon, Mr. Kirkland, Daniel Kirkland, who's down there, who guards our office each and every morning, making sure that Jen, and he's actually my security guard kind of as well. He keeps Jen from beating the crap out of me each and every morning. So thank you to Mr. Kirkland. You are very vicious and mean, and we all agree on that. Glad to have Patrick back, though, to protect me as well. I need all the protection I can get each and every day. 803-404-6100 is how you can be a part of the program. Coming up in the next segment, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Get your dialing fingers ready. Coming out of the next break. So here in about 10 minutes, we're going to give caller number, it says 10, so we'll do caller 10. We'll give caller 10 a pair of tickets to Saturday night's game at Williams-Brice Stadium. So coming out of the next break, so you're going to have to listen just a little bit longer, and we will give you a pair of tickets to Saturday night's game. You have to call 803-404-6100. Also, a reminder today, Heath Klein will be at Columbia Craft on Green Street, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Stop by, say hello, ask him to sing an Imagine Dragons song. Columbia Craft can be your game day headquarters. Columbia Craft is proudly distributed throughout the Midlands by KW Beverage. Heath Klein will be there today, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Columbia Craft on Green Street. And again, you can go there, and then you can head over to our good buddy Tony Annan's soccer match tonight. The South Carolina Gamecocks taking on the Clemson Tigers. Big weekend of football coming up in the next segment. We will do our pick'ems, Georgia State, South Carolina. We've talked about that. Patrick, a couple of really interesting games, two of them that we will pick. Number one, North Carolina at App State. The Tar Heels, a 3.5-point favorite over the Mountaineers. Yeah, that's correct. North Carolina, though, last week opening up against Florida A&M, struggled a little bit against a team that they won big. I think it was 56 or 59 to 24. I think it was 56-24. But they won big. But, Patrick, I mean, this is a program, again, we continue to look at the post-Sam Howell era.
To take until late in the game to really, really make it a dominant win on a team that was just above, like, I mean, IMG Academy might have beaten that Florida A&M team, and they weren't even full strength. It was a 42-point spread, I think, and they struggled. They struggled early. It was not an inspiring performance, and I know that this was already sort of one of the trendy picks, is that App State's going to be tough to play, a tough place to play, tough team to play. It is a noon game, which makes me feel a little bit better for North Carolina, but if you thought that App State might beat this North Carolina team, then that game probably only solidified your opinion there. But that's the only thing that makes me nervous, is now that's becoming even trendier of a pick. Like now it's not even – App State's pretty much not a sleeper anymore. Everyone's kind of onto it, and it's going to be highlighted as one of the best games of that slate. And I didn't even think Drake May looked bad. I thought he was pretty impressive. He could throw the ball. He's a good athlete. He had that, whatever you call it, touchdown where it got flipped. Josh Downs is still really good. Like they're gonna have a couple options. They've still got some good players, but I thought, just by the way North Carolina recruited that one ridiculous class a couple years ago, that Miles Murphy class, I thought they would be a lot better and more dominant now. Like I thought they would be sort of that top 15-ish to 20 team, like sort of where Pittsburgh is right now, and that hasn't happened.
Well, and the other part on top of that is South Carolina recruits against North Carolina. And I say that because, you look at it and you say, well, all right, South Carolina needs to go in to have success on the recruiting trail. They need to go into North Carolina. You see what they're doing on the the recruiting trail in the DMV. And Patrick, by the way, let's get your take real quick. I'm going to throw you a curveball, but I forgot you weren't here on Monday. Desmond Yumi Zulu, a guy who you've helped train me to speak properly, to say his name semi properly. But that pickup for the Gamecocks is big. Get your take on that, but also going into the state of North Carolina. And now, if Mac Brown is falling off, if North Carolina's falling off, being able to compete with the Tar Heels on the recruiting trail in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to win some battles in North Carolina at this point. And I don't even know who the biggest target is now. I guess it is North Carolina. North Carolina State just can't recruit the same way, even though they're a better team. Like, they just have better players right now. Their defense is experienced and really good. Ume Zulu is just huge. Like that this defensive line class is just so exciting, and you get a little bit of everything. Like several different styles of players. I can't think of a better position to make the strength of your class now, and the way they're doing it. With Xavier McLeod, a big 325-pound dominant interior lineman from the state of South Carolina, from right in your backyard, and then supplementing that with a couple pass rushers that are more athletic, and Ume Zulu and Xavier Hardy. Like it just is really exciting. And then, of course, right after that, I think that it might have been that night was when everybody noticed that Nicholas Harper's out there wearing South Carolina gloves during his first game.
Yeah.
So it almost got to the point where everybody said, this is awesome. We got a great pass rusher from the DMV, but now we're looking ahead to the 5-star Mr. Freak, all everything athlete. And it's going to be a disappointment now if they can't land him.
803-404-6100. One other one real quick, and we'll make our pick on this as you look around Utah, Florida. Billy Napier, you look at Florida's schedule, and Florida opens with Utah this weekend, number 7 in the country, then Kentucky next weekend, South Florida in week 3, and Tennessee, who blew out. Tennessee looked very good last night, but that was to be expected with that offense and what Hendon Hooker brings to the table. But Florida this weekend, we'll pick that one coming up in the next segment. That's wildly interesting.
So I heard Chris Doering say this is the most anticipated home opener for Florida in since Urban Meyer era, and I can kind of see it. I mean, it's so intriguing. It's impossible to truly predict how the weather is going to impact the game, but even though it continues to be said, and I continue to try and brush it off, I do think it's going to be a big deal. Oh yeah, I do think the weather. Yeah, no matter what people say about the weather, I do think it's going to end up being impactful. I hope that if Utah is going to win the game, I think they have to get up early, because I can see in the fourth quarter they'll just start falling apart, losing their legs, and they've got to establish the run early too. Tavion Thomas has to have a big first half, and Cam Rising has to be dominant. Florida's defensive line is going to be the weak spot on that team most likely, and Utah's got to take advantage of that early if they're going to have any chance of winning the game.
We will break this down a little bit more. We'll get into Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Ohio State. We'll make our picks next. We got 5 games plus our lock. Patrick is back this morning, and we have got to do some picks and get ready for that. If you want to be a part of the program, 803-404-6100, or you can join us on our live stream. Shoot, we got a new follower there. T-Paws, which I'm thinking means Clemson. He's a Clemson fan, but he says the Chickens will win by 17. So a good Clemson fan joining us this morning on our live stream. You can go and be a part of that. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, click join, subscribe. Be a part of what you're listening to by adding your own voice each and every morning. You're listening to Patrick Perrett, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 1075 The Game. going and purchasing a vehicle, well, it can be strenuous. It can be full of tension. It's a big purchase in your life. There's a lot of money that's going to be spent. But at Love Chevrolet, where they've been taking care of people in the Midlands for over 60 years, they make it a fun, enjoyable, almost exciting experience. I mean, that's what purchasing a new car is. It should be exciting. You're purchasing something new. It's almost like a family member. And from the moment you walk in, Love Chevrolet. You go over, they've got cookies, they got a massage chair. Trust me, there's a lot of reasons to go over there besides just purchasing a car, but that's the main reason. But the cookies, the massage chair, the free water, they make it a great experience. And let's be honest, in this day and age right now, the amount of money you got to spend, it's a big purchase. But at Love Chevrolet, they give you great deals. They got the $1,000 low price guarantee, meaning you can shop other dealerships and take their deal back to Love Chevrolet, and they'll write you a check if they can't top it for $1,000. Hadn't happened yet. Won't happen anytime soon because Love Chevrolet has the absolute best price in town, and they have the largest selection, 14 acres of brand new Chevys from which to choose from. And again, purchasing a new car, I've done it. You've done it. It can be strenuous. You get a little freaked out. Does this car fit our needs? Does this car, is it going to, what's the warranty? What's the deal? How many miles can it get us? Is it going to be able to fit the whole family? You get a little stressed out. But at Love Chevrolet, they make it a great experience because of the way they treat you. They don't hassle you. They don't harass you. They don't try and trick you. They tell you everything up front. They're honest with you. They trust you. They take care of you. That's why I believe in Love Chevrolet. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. If you're in the market for a brand new vehicle, I suggest you go visit them. Go see the great folks. There's a lot of incredible salespeople out there that have worked for Love Chevrolet for 20 years, and they do it because it's a great company to work for, because they're trustworthy, because they believe in that company. And I believe in Love Chevrolet, and you will too once you go visit them and purchase your next vehicle, whether it's a car, truck, or SUV. Love Chevrolet is your one-stop shop. 14 acres of brand new Chevys, the $1,000 low price guarantee. It all means nothing if you can't trust who you're buying from. And at Love Chevrolet, trust is the bottom line. It's the foundation of what makes them a great company. So go visit them. Go visit the great salespeople. Go visit the great folks that Love Chevrolet. Give them an opportunity to sell you your next car, truck, or SUV because they're going to do it the right way. They're going to do it the way they've done it for over 60 years, taking care of families just like yours and mine here in the Midlands, making sure that you're happy when you drive off the lot. 'Cause that's the fun part, right? The kids hop in the car, that's that brand new car smell. They love it. Go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
Really good games. Really, really good games.
Red tape can be overwhelming. So if you need assistance with veterans benefits, Social Security, Medicare, or other issues, please contact the office at area code 800.
Pick a log here.
What you got?
We are here to help you. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives. Enjoy Gamecock football Saturday at Columbia Craft Brewing Company.
Uh-oh. What session is? Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Oh, there we go. All right. We're good.
Sure, that was about.
I wasn't sure. It said my session was about to expire. I think I'm operating. So we had, I don't know what's going on here, but they said that we didn't check in. So last night.
How do you get a key if you don't check in?
It's a good question.
That's I mean, they came to our room.
Okay.
So they came to our room. We're like, hey, y'all haven't checked in. And we're like, well, what do you mean we haven't? We're in the room. That's the definition of checking in.
Yeah. We didn't just bring a card with us from Columbia and said, let's see if this works on this particular room.
Yeah. So.
So North Carolina, App State's now a 1.5 point game.
Really?
Yikes. What did Brian Edwards pick? Troy,
No, he actually didn't lose at all, Troy. Did you listen? Good Lord. How can you honestly?
Did he
Troy,
pick 6.5?
I know you're a Clemson fan and listening is difficult, but my goodness, he didn't lose. He said he pushed. He did push, but
what was Pittsburgh, 7 or 6.5?
Well, he specifically said you buy him down to 7.
Wait, was it at 7.5?
Most of them had it at 7.5. I actually
I
bought
saw
it
it
down
was
to
moving.
6.5.
Yeah, it was moving quite a bit. Yeah, but that's not what he said.
Yeah, the line was 7.5. That you're right, but he said we got to work on your listening. Clemson fans, non-listeners, Troy. That's why we stereotype you. 803-404-6100. Let's get to our picks, Patrick. We've got our weekly pick'em contest. Some things will never change, and one of them is that one of us is probably a loser, and that would probably be me. But let's find out if I can pick them correctly. By the way, the NASCAR pick's not going well this year. All right, we got 5 games. Let's see how many we can fire through here. Let's start up in Boone, North Carolina. We both like this. Now, you mentioned on the live stream. That I'm seeing 3.5 for North Carolina App State, but you mentioned that it's down to 1.5 now. I didn't see that on VegasInsider.com, but we're going to pick it at 3.5. We're going to pick North Carolina minus the 3.5 at Appalachian State. What direction you go?
I think I'm going to take the Mountaineers. It was just such an unimpressive, uninspiring performance from North Carolina. It does make me really nervous that now everyone's trending this way, but they just didn't look good. And it's going to be a tough environment. App State sold out that game weeks ago, so I'll go ahead and take them.
Patrick going App State on that. I'm going to actually take North Carolina here. I think having played a game, I think this is one of those games where they go into Boone. App State gets a little bit too fired up. I like North Carolina State minus the 3.5. I think, again, having the 1 week to prepare. Yeah, Florida A&M didn't have anybody. I'm with you, Patrick. But I think almost using it as an exhibition game is a great way to start the season, and I'll take North Carolina on that. So he's going to App State. I'm taking North Carolina. Let's go to the city that I'm in right now, Atlanta. If you're unaware, I'm over here. I came over for a Braves game last night. I'll be heading back here right after the show to get back to Columbia. Oregon and Georgia, 16.5. A lot of points. Georgia lost a lot of people. Dan Lanning, we haven't talked about this enough. Dan Lanning comes from Georgia to Oregon, and now in his opener faces his former team. He's got to know some things about Stetson Bennett and what rattles him. 16.5 is a lot, Patrick. Mario Cristobal left some guys. Where are you going with this?
Oregon's got great linebackers, probably the best linebacker room in the country. but it's just going to have to be a statement from Georgia. Dan Lanning knows what to expect, but Georgia's just going to have to come up with something creative. They're going to have to punch him in the mouth because they cannot give up the script to beat Georgia in week 1 in Georgia's home stadium, basically. It's become a second home for them at this point. They play there every single year. So I think I just have to take Georgia and just cross my fingers and hope that they're going to reload like we expect them to reload. Jalen Carter's going to live in the backfield, and that's just the way it's going to have to be. I don't believe in Stetson Bennett at all. I don't like him. I don't think he's very good, but I think he'll cover.
What a mean thing. The dude won a national championship. What
I know.
What does he have to do for you?
Also, I was going to be so happy coming in here after Sean Clifford threw that pick 6 last night. That was such a Sean Clifford thing to do, but then they came back and won the game, so that took a lot of wind out of my sails.
All right, you going Georgia? You going Oregon?
I'm going Georgia.
Oh, you're going Georgia. So despite your
despite my Stetson Bennett, sort of hate. I don't hate him. I think he's a good kid, but I just don't think he's a good quarterback. When draft season comes around and people start saying is Stetson Bennett like worthy of a first round pick, I know someone's going to ask me that question, and I'm gonna freak out.
803-404-6100. You can play along with us and in your picks. I'm going to take Georgia with you minus the 16.5. I think the defense reloads under Kirby. I have no faith in Dan Lanning as a head coach. I'll take Georgia basically at home, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 3:30 on Saturday. Let's go to the big night game, Patrick. The big night game. Notre Dame and Ohio State, 17.5. It's a huge number. C.J. Stroud, Marcus Freeman's first regular season game, coached the bowl game, but now he is in command of Notre Dame taking on Ohio State, minus 17.5 for the Buckeyes. That's a big number.
Yeah, and they're going to cover it. It's going to be ugly, I think. Ohio State's offense is just so good, and at the end of the season, we're not going to know who their best player is. C.J. Stroud's going to light it up and be a Heisman candidate. TreVeyon Henderson could be the best running back in the country. Jackson Smith-Njigba could be the best wide receiver in the country. Shoot, Marvin Harrison Jr. could be the best wide receiver in the country by the end of the year. Ohio State's going to score on every possession.
Oof, going with the Buckeyes. I'm going to take Notre Dame in this game. I think early season jitters. I think Ohio State, a lot of pressure on them to come out and perform. It feels like everybody's just writing off the Fighting Irish. I think that Ohio State wins comfortably, but I'll take under 17.5. I think that Ohio State is very good. I got Ohio State in my playoff. We got to get our playoff predictions. Might have to tell you to hang around here and do another segment with us after Chris Deering, but we got to get to those. But I like Ohio State, but I think Notre Dame makes it a little bit close. Maybe scores late, maybe a late touchdown. They cover the 17.5. You're going Buckeyes. I'm going Fighting Irish. We'll come back. We'll get to Florida and Utah and South Carolina and Georgia State, 11.5. The number on that when we come back. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
No, it's not the new one. Please do. Do another wardrobe change. Just trying to find something to wear at home. Might go button my shirt.
Let's see here. Troy, we got to go back to your point. You can pick whatever line you want. You can move the spread around. I got to work with you, Troy. Troy, I need to go have a beverage with you and work with you on picking ball games. Like, that was his point. You can move like last night, to give you an example, I took a parlay and I lost because Purdue, but I moved Pittsburgh from 7.5 to 6.5. And that's part of it. You can move those. You can indeed move those lines around. And
also, you don't even have to pick it with a line. You can just pick them to win.
Take the money line. And as a matter of fact, Brian took a money line parlay. He took a 3-team money line parlay that was Pittsburgh, Arkansas, and Boston College. Clemson fans, you can't help them.
How good would that be though? If your Vegas insider came in every week and said, "I like Alabama money line, I like the South Carolina money line, Tennessee money line."
You are right about that. That would be a bad Vegas insider if he came in and did that. But he was specifically, he said he's 7.5 because he said he used a Patrick phrase. He said, "Buy it down to the key number 7. Buy it to the key number 7." He was specific about that yesterday. So he did not lose that. But he did push, obviously.
Yeah, that's just the football numbers are always the key numbers. The 3s, the 7s, and the 0s. You just push through those numbers.
We're all gonna meet at Brian Glenn's place and take Troy and have a discussion. We're gonna teach him. We're gonna work with him. Troy, we're gonna work with you. You stick with us, we'll stick with you. We love you. We're glad you're a part of this each and every morning. But man, he picked it right. Tell you what, you Tiger fans, I'm sure there's others of you watching right now. I apologize for Troy. He's making all Clemson fans look bad. He picked it correct. He told you buy it down. That is part of gambling. We got to work on you. We got to work on you, Troy. He was right. He's 0-1. He had a push. He had a push. You got to give the man credit. If he switching shirts.
Yeah, always. Don't buy from 4 to 5. Don't 4.5 to 5. Don't do that.
Right. That's a good point. 7, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5 to 3.5 to 3, 7.5 to 7, 10.5 to 10,
or 6.5 to 7 if you're betting the dog and you gave yourself that push protection.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. 6.5 to 7. Yeah, like if he'd have come in yesterday and he didn't, but if he'd have come in and said take West Virginia plus the 6.5, but buy it to 7, he would be right. I'm not in studio. We'll get back. Did he take? No, he only had 4 picks, Larry. He only had 4 picks. He had North Carolina State. That's the 4 you're judging him on this week. He pushed last night. He took North Carolina State, LSU, and Arkansas. Those are the 4. He took North Carolina State at 11.5. That's the number you're looking at.
What's the number for LSU? Is it 7.5?
So perfect example. He was LSU was 3.5, but he didn't say by the point.
3.5. LSU's going to be beat Florida State by double digits.
You know what? We talked about that last night. I love LSU. That's about to be my lock of the week. But by the way, do you want to hang? I know you don't want to do. I know you don't want to do Deering. You want to hang around for the? You want to come back?
Yeah, I'll just leave this waiting room while Deering's on.
Okay, we'll come back and we'll do our whatchamacallit. Y'all will not be able, we've got some issues back in the studio. So I appreciate everybody being a part of it. But with Deering, you will not be able to hear him this morning. You will not be able to hear the callers, which is surprising, Jen, that we hadn't heard from Gamecock Larry, actually, I guess, of all of them. Hope he's okay. Oh, yeah. Let's do that now. Ready? Right now, giving you a chance to, and I apologize, I missed the last one, but we're giving you a chance to win a pair of tickets to tomorrow night's football game, South Carolina, Georgia State, 803-404-6100. is how you can is how you can win a pair of tickets right now. 803-404-6100. Give us a phone call, and Jen will get you taken care of. Caller number 10, 803-404-6100. You can win a pair of tickets to tomorrow night's game at Williams-Brice Stadium, South Carolina, Georgia State. We'll take caller number 10. Go. Dial. Go right now. 803-404-6100. Get in there and get yourself those tickets as we give those away. 2 more games to pick. Chris Deering coming up here in about 10 minutes, and then Patrick will hang around for another segment because we need to get our playoff picks for the season. But Patrick, let's go back to our current picks. Right now we've got North Carolina, Appalachian State. I'm going UNC. You're going App State. UNC's minus 3.5. Oregon, Georgia. We're both taking Georgia minus the 16. Or excuse me, I took Oregon. I don't know why I wrote down Georgia on that. I went Oregon. No, I like Georgia. I'm going. I think I did take. I'm taking Georgia. I've got it right. The other one is the one we're split on. Notre Dame, Ohio State. You like Ohio State minus the 17.5. I like Notre Dame to cover late 17.5. We're talking about that on the live stream. About key numbers and betting down lines. Brian Edwards yesterday. We give him an official push. He took Pittsburgh last night, but he told you. And unfortunately, our good buddy Troy, who is a part of the live stream each and every morning, and I'm very appreciative of him being there each and every morning. But he doesn't understand the gambling. Yesterday, Brian Edwards said buy down the point spread. Don't take it at 7.5. He said take it at 7. So he gets a push on that one. He's got Arkansas, North Carolina State, and LSU this coming weekend. So, all right, let's get back to our picks. Utah, Florida. Utah, I've got them at 2.5, Patrick, minus 2.5. They go into Florida. I feel like this is a huge game for Billy Napier. Where are you going with this?
Because I think Utah is going to be in the college football playoff, I'm going to take Utah. I think they're probably the 4th best team in the country, maybe 5th best team in the country, because Alabama and Georgia are probably both in that top 5. But Utah is I think they're a really good team. I worry about the weather. I think the way I see it going is they'll get out early. They'll be able to run the ball effectively from the start and get out to a big lead, but then it'll start to crumble sort of later as they get tired and their legs get heavy, and they'll be able to hold on to about a 3-point lead there at the end. I do like Utah, but I think it's just by the skin of their teeth they're going to get by.
I have been a constant Debbie Downer on the University of Florida for the last several years. That's kind of been my shtick, I guess. I am going to stick with Utah in this situation and continue to be down on Florida. Give me the Utes minus 2.5.
It's not a good sign for South Carolina if Florida wins that game. I mean, that means Florida is going to be back sooner than we expect.
Yeah, I don't know. Utah is number 7 in the country right now. Hard to figure it out. All right, let's go to Georgia State and South Carolina. Patrick's going to hang around. We're going to do Chris Deering coming up in the next segment, and then Patrick will be back. We'll do some playoff talk, and also we need some NFL discussion there with him. Turns out an hour is not long enough. But Georgia State, South Carolina, Patrick, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, 11.5 is the number. Where are you going?
I'm not going to start the season picking against South Carolina. Night game, new LED lights, all that fun stuff. Sir Big Spur's back. You got to take the Gamecocks. Got to.
I'm going to go with you on that. I think South Carolina scores late to put this thing away. I think it's closer than the experts think or that the fans think. I think it's a single-digit score with 10 minutes to go. Some people are biting their fingernails. I think we're all concerned, but I think South Carolina is able to punch one in late. Depth is a big factor there. We'll talk more about this in hour number 3. Get Patrick's take on that. Some NFL discussion as well. Chris Deering coming up as well in the next segment. We got some high school sports to discuss. A lot to get to in only one more hour to do it. We'll find a way. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
Our 15th anniversary, Columbia Sports Talk Station.
So we'll probably do the giveaway again.
There we go. I'm sorry. Okay. What?
We will probably do the giveaway again because probably one reason we haven't heard from Larry, and I got to see what I can do about Deering. I figured out the phones have been forwarded and didn't get unforwarded from last night. So I'm trying to figure this mess out now.
So that makes it difficult, huh?
A little bit. If you try to call, it just says it's busy. I don't want to call in.
So who did we harass? What is it? What's the company?
That the phone stuff is through?
Yeah.
Vonage?
Oh, okay. No, I meant like it's not IMG, is it? Is it IMG?
That
Who
does call-ins?
Yeah, you know, the
Yeah, it's
company that
Learfield.
runs
It's Learfield now.
Learfield. Okay, yeah. So maybe somebody up in Winston-Salem. There you go, Greg. I agree with it. We'll just blame Patrick. Why not?
It's ringing.
Is it now?
Oh no, it's not a problem of ringing. You're not going to get a voicemail.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's not giving me an option to turn off. So now I switch it to send to voicemail after 12 rings. Simultaneous ring, maybe? I don't know.
Sometimes also we can dial out, but it can't take the calls.
Won't take a minute. Yep. But yeah, for some reason, I'm only getting options of send to voicemail, forward the calls to, of course, Carolina calls. Like, how do I turn this off? I don't want it to forward to anything.
Who ran Carolina calls? Dave?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, that happens a lot.
Yep.
Some mornings you just come in after Carolina calls and just be like, wow, nobody's interacting today. Weird. And then realize, oh, Dave never switched it back last night.
Yep. But like I said, I'm not seeing how I can stop it. It's making me do other. I don't know. I'm working on it. But I will try to call anyway and see if I can get Deering.
Let's go close the door.
Star 73 technology. See all the stuff y'all get to see behind the scenes now? And we get to learn that Troy, a Clemson fan, doesn't know how to gamble.
No, he knows all about gambling. He knows money lines and buying points.
I like it. Troy, we need to go have a drink. So, Troy, I don't know where Troy lives. Does Troy live? I feel like Troy lives around Lexington, maybe. We do need to have an early game happy hour. I agree with that. All right.
Did you get him?
803-4. You know what? The phone number is not relevant. We discovered in the break, we discovered in the last segment that the phone lines are still messed up from last night because we forward calls on to Carolina Calls and Shane Beamer. So if you've tried calling this morning and you haven't gotten through, it's not because Jen is annoyed and dislikes you. It's because there's a phone issue. So we will give those football tickets away again, or we will try if we can get it corrected. We are not engineers, but if we can get it corrected, we'll give those football tickets away later on in the program. Again, a reminder, Heath Klein today out at Columbia Craft, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Go and visit him, see him, make him sing some Imagine Dragons. He is fantastic at that. He loves it. Patrick, you've been there. You've been on site with him. He loves it. He might be grumpy at first, but when you show up and you see Heath Klein and you ask him to do his best Imagine Dragons impersonation, he loves that stuff. He loves it when you come up and talk to him while he's on air. You've seen it.
It's not just Imagine Dragons either. He loves country music. He loves the Applebee's song. He loves Flo Rida. He loves all that good stuff. All the fun family tailgate party songs.
Huge Luke Bryan fan, that Heath Klein.
For some reason, I do remember there being a Flow Rida song I think played that he got really annoyed about.
Yeah. He's actually Heath Klein is the grumpy old dad of the 107.5 The Game family. So, but go visit him today, 3 to 6 p.m. At Columbia Craft on Green Street. Columbia Craft. See that? You hear that? That is a happy guy. One more time.
There's also the Nirvana one that was amazing. I don't know if we even. Amazing.
The karaoke king of 107.5 The Game. Go visit him today at Columbia Craft. Make him do some karaoke. 3 to 6 p.m. Columbia Craft on Green Street. Columbia Craft can be your game day headquarters. Columbia Craft proudly distributed throughout the Midlands by KW Beverage. It wouldn't be a game day Friday if we didn't pick on Heath Klein a little bit, but appreciate him. He's a good guy, just like our guy Troy Jeffcoat on our live stream that we're making fun of there. So, and Reggie Anderson text in says he's going to slash your tires. Yeah, thank goodness my car is it's hidden safely somewhere else. So, 803-404-6100. Jen, I believe you have mastered the phone lines. You have defeated technology this morning, and Chris Deering is with us. There you go. Okay, we're winning slightly. Nonetheless, let's be joined by our good buddy Chris Deering now for the high school highlights of the week. Another great weekend. And Chris, we start you off. If listening to Heath Klein do karaoke doesn't get you fired up for football season, you're just cold-hearted, buddy.
Is it fall now?
Yeah.
It's September. Got an apple crisp macchiato from Starbucks yesterday. It felt like fall.
Ooh. There you go. He's Chris Deering. He's Chris Deering joining us as he does each and every week for the high school highlights of the week. You've been on vacation this week. We understand Jen was keeping everybody informed of your travel, and apparently you had a little bit of food poisoning. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better, and glad you're coming back to town. Let's get a couple questions for you here, or get a couple games tonight. Get your take on them. Let's start with the big game in the Midlands, the Fox game of the week, Blythewood and Westwood, Blythewood and First Westwood rivalry game over at Blythewood High School. Your take on that big Midland showdown tonight?
The teams are really needing a win. Blythewood did pick up a win last week. And I'll tell you, that defense on Blythewood, they have a lot of returning stars on that side of the football. And they actually have played pretty well this season. They got to get the offense in gear a little bit more. I know they used backup quarterback David Herndon last week, and he had a pretty big game. So, they got a sophomore running back in Kenson Holland. He's been pretty good this year. So, Blythewood's playing, fairly decent, especially defensively. And Westwood has really struggled out of the gate. They're 0-2 and haven't played that well yet. I think they have to figure out the quarterback situation still. And they do have a, outstanding playmaker in a guy named Noah Jennings. And they just need to find a way to get him the football a little bit more in space and let him do his thing. And just haven't been able to do that yet. But, should be a great crowd there at Blythewood. So you expect a big crowd between those two schools. They're, not far apart, 5 or 6 miles apart. So should be a great atmosphere and a great football game to kick off, your Friday night.
Yeah, it should be a really fun night as we lead into the true opening weekend of college football season. Last week you were at White Knoll and Spring Valley, and White Knoll stuck it to Spring Valley 36-9. Tonight, Spring Valley travels to Chapin. Chapin and Spring Valley over at Chapin High School. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, those two teams still, again, trying to find their direction this early in the season. I was a little bit surprised by the White Knoll Spring Valley score last night. Not the fact that White Knoll won, but just the margin of victory. It was 36-9, and White Knoll played you know, a really complete game. They had some playmakers in that game that did their thing. And Spring Valley's got, you know, they're struggling a little bit again at the quarterback position. They got to find a way to get the ball. They got a talented group of running backs, some really good receivers, but just haven't, you know, hit on all cylinders yet. And Chapin's you're very young on offense. They're still trying to find their way. This might be a game, you know, that whichever defense can control the line of scrimmage and control the tempo of the game is probably going to win this game. And I think it's a pretty even matchup going into it.
Looking around the Midlands, real quick, let's just get your take as we've now gone through 2 weekends of high school football. Anything that stood in terms of Midlands football, not statewide, but anything with the Midlands that has stood out to you? Teams around here that either has caught your attention, good or bad?
You know, on the good side, I think you got to look at AC Flora and Camden. Those two teams they were expected to be good coming into the season, and coming out of the gate, you know, right now they might be better than maybe people even expected. I've seen Camden already. I mean, really good football team. And the amazing thing about those guys, I mean, you know, Xavier McLeod gets the attention, obviously, he's a South Carolina commit. But they got some young guys. They got a bunch of juniors on that team that are really, really good. Grayson White, who really should be playing linebacker for that team. He's probably a 6 foot, 240-pound quarterback, and he's playing well. He's accounted for 9 touchdowns this year, I think. And you know, Camden's doing really good, and they're only going to get better, I think. And then AC Flora, you know, there's some question marks surrounding them at the quarterback position coming into the year. But Carew Bates has moved from wide receiver to quarterback this year. I mean, he's hit on all cylinders. They've only played 1 game. And, you know, they had a bye at what we call week 0, and they played last week, and then they have a bye again this week. So it's been sort of a weird start for them. But they've been really good. Markel Towns was one of the best backs in the area. The defense was played really well last week. And they just got a lot of talent. So that AC4 team's going to be one to really reckon with. And then we talk about Dutch Fork for a minute. You know, we're growing accustomed to Dutch Fork blowing people out and not really playing close games. Well, they've won 2 games by combined 5 points. And so they've found a way to get it done. They might not be as dominant as they have been in the past, but that's still a good Dutch Fork team. And Jarvis Green, Jarvis Green ran for 300 yards last week, and he's got to do a lot right now. They got some injuries at quarterback, so they're going to have to figure out a way to get things going through the air, but Jarvis Green is probably the best back in the Midlands. And so, you know, that's 3 teams that's really stood out to me so far. And on the downside, you know, maybe Spring Valley. I think a lot more was expected of them coming into the season. They just hadn't really executed that way yet.
Let's, stay in the middle. We are the program of phlegm and scratchy voices early in the morning. So if you're driving your kids to school and you're talking to them and you've got a lot of phlegm and scratchy voice, you fit right in with our program, as I struggled to talk yesterday. But let's stay in the Midlands. I think I brought up this name to you, and I want to get your opinion on Nate Branch, the wide receiver at Lower Richland. Lower Richland at Ridgeview taking on each other tonight. That game will be at Lower Richland High School. Nate Branch committed to Coastal Carolina, but I believe last week you thought he is a guy that maybe South Carolina takes a look at now that they've missed on some wide receivers in their class. And this kid has had a very good career and is off to a good start this year.
Well, yeah, right after the show last week, Bill, I actually got a text. He decommitted from Coastal Carolina last week, and I just missed it. So he's no longer committed to Coastal. I know he's looking around for some bigger offers. I've heard North Carolina might be in the mix. Don't know where South Carolina stands with him, but, you know, I saw Nate Branch last year early in the season, and he really wasn't a big name at that point. And he really impressed me, you know, not only at wide receiver, but on special teams. And he's continued that this year. Again, a lot of teams are figuring out the quarterback position right now, and Lower Richland is one of those teams. And Nate hadn't had the start to the season that he's wanted. He didn't have a catch last week in the big win over Westwood, but I have no doubt he could get it together, and that Lower Richland teams could be better as the season goes along. You know, they got another wide receiver. He don't get talked about much because of what Nate does, but Kai Stanfield. I mean, he's about a 6'3", 6'4" kid. That's a really good compliment to Branch, and he's actually even flourishing and receiving right now. So he's a pretty good player. And I've said coming into this year, this might be the best wide receiver group we've seen in the Midlands probably 10 to 15 years or so. This has been a really good wide receiver group all across the Midlands.
Let's stay here in the Midlands. Should be a really fun one tonight over at River Bluff. Irmo heads over to River Bluff for a fun little game there. Nick Eamon-Worry for South Carolina expected to play obviously a good bit for the Gamecock season. Backup safety tomorrow night against Georgia State. He's a guy who came out of that Irmo program. And Chris, they continue to just. I'm familiar with Irmo. That was my rival in high school, and they head over to River Bluff tonight.
Yeah, two teams that's 2-0. Irmo's ranked number 7 in Class 4A in the state. I know River Bluff received votes last week for the 5A top 10 because I was one of the people that voted them in the top 10. Neither team has really been tested to say, but this is to be a good test for both teams. I think Irmo had a good win over Lancaster last week. They beat Chapin in the open week. And River Bluff is played as expected. Again, another young team with a bunch of sophomores doing a lot of good things. Very high on the quarterback there, Parker Murray. The running back who's the senior, Cooper Johns. He's got about 250 yards on the year. That's a good group of players. And, talking to Blair Hart before the season, this group knows how to win. That sophomore class, I think they went undefeated in middle school ball, and obviously that's a big difference than playing varsity football. But these guys know how to win, and they expect to win. And I think that goes a long ways in high school football is, knowing how to win and expecting to win. And this River Bluff team, that's what they have. Again, Parker Murray's a great quarterback. They got a wide receiver, Stephen Collier, that I think that's a name that 2 years from now when he's a senior, everybody in the country's going to want that kid. So that's a name to keep an eye on. And that's two of the better student bodies in the Midlands too. That should be a great atmosphere over River Bluff tonight.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Let's give my alma mater a little bit of love. Lexington, they take on Stratford tonight here in the Midlands. You're going to see a good game. Stratford, a lot of tradition. Chris, I don't know. I could be wrong on this. Excuse me. 22 years ago, I went down to Stratford my senior year and watched Gavin Varner. Do you remember that name, Gavin Varner, the running back for Stratford? Does that stand out to you at all?
I do remember that name because you got the thing, though. Stratford is an offspring of Berkeley. So obviously I keep track of a lot of those schools down there, and Stratford is one of them. And I do remember that name. Yeah, he was a pretty good running back for them.
Big running back. Unfortunately, academics, I think, got in the way. Dominated Demetrius Summers and Lexington that night back in 2000. But Stratford, I think this is the first time that they make a visit to Lexington. Should be a fun one if you want to get out and catch a great game over at Lexington High School tonight. Your thoughts on the Wildcats? I get a text in here that's complimenting Jonah Norris. He says, big-time running back at Lexington High School. Your thoughts on my Wildcats?
Yeah, I was just to bring up Jonah Norris. He ran for 328 yards last week and 5 touchdowns. And they had a shootout win last week over South Aiken, 63-56. So that Lexington offense, the first 2 weeks have maybe been the best in the Midlands so far. And that, they need to keep that up. They got to find a way to get a little bit better defensively. But Jonah Norris has been really good this year. He missed most of last year. I think he suffered a broken arm in game 3, maybe game 4. So he missed most of last year. So sort of under the radar this year. He's a senior, hard-nosed, straight-ahead runner, and he's going to get the yardage. And he broke off a couple big ones last week to end up with 328 yards. And yeah, that's an interesting matchup against Stratford. 2 5A schools playing against each other, and that's sort of what you want to do in this non-region part of your schedule is. Play teams that's going to make you better for the playoffs. And I think this game will definitely make both of these teams a little bit better.
Before we let you out, let's give a little love to your alma mater. Should be a fun one if you're listening down a little bit further in the low state, closer to Charleston. Berkeley taking on Somerville tonight. These are two big names. We always talk about the upstate schools, Chris, but Berkeley and Somerville getting together. I'm sure you've seen plenty of these games in your time. 5A matchup. Berkeley, obviously, the home of the Ellington boys and Chris Deering, and Somerville, the home of John McKissick and tons. I don't even know where AJ Green comes to mind, but tons of great players. Give us a little breakdown. If you're down in the low country and you want to catch what I would assume, Chris, is going to be a phenomenal game. It's at your alma mater, at Berkeley tonight. It's your Stags against the Green Wave.
Yeah, I do think that's probably the marquee matchup in the Midlands. And, you know, having played there and been a part of that rivalry for, you know, my whole life, to me, it don't get any better than that. I mean, I've seen a lot of things here in the Midlands that are really, really good, but, you know, that's the one I played in. That's the one I competed in. And, you know, there would definitely be an eye towards the low country tonight to see how that one turns out. I do think the Somerville team might be better than maybe some people expected. And so Berkeley's got to play a little bit better than he had the first 2 weeks. You know, Jerry Brown's back at Berkeley. He's trying to figure out some things. That they played pretty well defensively the first 2 weeks, but they've struggled a little bit offensively. So be interesting to see what they can do with Somerville tonight. And again, I do think that Somerville team might be better than some thought coming into the season. I know I voted them in the top 10 this past week, and I did not have them there in the preseason. So again, it should be a great atmosphere. I know last night this is the Hall of Fame game for Berkeley. Inducted 5 new members into the Berkeley Hall of Fame, and one of them was one of my former teammates. So good to see him get in there, and you know, just should be a great atmosphere. Probably about 6,000 or 7,000 people there.
Okay, can you look at something real quick?
He's Chris Deering. You can follow him on Twitter at cdeering82 is the way to do that. He joins us each and every Friday for the high school highlights of the week, and it is we're into it. We're into it, Chris. You've got the high school is in full go. College football is now kicking off. NFL's a week away. We're fully invested in football season.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
How long we be talking about region games that really matter for playoffs?
I mean, he ended up fixing it from his end, so now I've got the phones. But we did a ticket giveaway, and the phones didn't ring, and I'm like,
I guess everybody's got theirs.
oh gosh, I got some.
Patrick's, I think, taking Polly for a walk real quick. He's disappeared. I agree with you. He's Chris Deering. He joins us each and every Friday. Chris, appreciate you being a part of it. I hope you've, well, aside from the food poisoning, hope the vacation's been good for you. And we look forward to catching up with you next week. You too, Chris Deering. Again, follow him on Twitter at cdeering82. We'll come back. Patrick and I will discuss college football a little bit more in depth because that's what we do here on this program. We get in depth. Oh, and the phones are working. The phones, Jen has fixed the phones. Look at you doing stuff. Like we're all working very hard this morning, and Jen's done a great job. So we will give those football tickets away when we come back. Is that good with you? Phones are working. So when we, yeah, Jen is she's ready for a drink at 8:21 in the morning on a. There you go. Yeah, she's done a heck of a job trying to rein me in, keep Patrick invested as well. You're listening to the early game, 107.5 The Game. waking up each and every morning, doing a sports talk radio show, well, it can be a little difficult, especially when you stay in Atlanta the night before and you got a roommate who snores and your bed is uncomfortable. It's difficult. I'm ready to come home. I was in Atlanta last night. I'm caught the Braves game, but tonight I get to come home and hop back in my Sleep Number bed. And I'm telling you what, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to lead me to a great day tomorrow because that's what Sleep Number beds do. I put that Sleep Number setting on 45. I've kind of actually been messing around lately with the Sleep Number setting, even been moving it to 55, and I get fantastic nights of sleep. You can do the same. People are always asking, hey, Bill, why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? And I tell them, because every great day starts the night before. This day's kind of been ruined because I wasn't in my Sleep Number bed last night. I was in the Omni Hotel's bed. It was miserable. Actually, I didn't sleep good at all, and that wasn't even because of Mike's snoring, who was my roommate last night. Just brutal. But that's okay. Back home tonight, get in my Sleep Number bed, Sleep Number setting on 45, be absolutely fantastic. You can find out what I'm talking about. Make the switch to Sleep Number today. Don't miss Sleep Number's Labor Day special where all smart beds are on sale. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details. And I'm telling you, this is important. Free premium home delivery on all smart beds. You watch them set up the bed, you'll understand why that's important. You want to do it yourself. So get that free premium home delivery on all smart beds. This deal ends Monday, Labor Day, September the 5th, and it's only at a Sleep Number store. 2 to choose from, one in Irmo and Harbison Boulevard across from Buffalo Wild Wings, the other in Columbia, 2 Knots Road across from Sand Hills Mall. You can visit them on the web, sleepnumber.com. Make the switch to Sleep Number today and find out what a great night of sleep is truly like. Way behind. Way, way, way behind. Not good. Have to have 2 very quick segments, I guess. The bosses will not be pleased with my time management there. I can hear y'all if y'all start talking, Patrick. Chris was trying to talk to you. I know you'd walked away. Did you take Polly for a walk?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah. What'd Chris say?
I forget. He was bringing up something. What's wrong? Who's your roommate in the morning? Please, call me roommate. Come here. Come here. It's you. Oh, it's your alter ego. I really can't believe I packed 2 pairs of tennis shoes on a row. I got a snake on the bed. They made them for children. They're made for all people. Adults and children. You got to stop smoking this. Coffee. You don't drink coffee. Huh? You don't drink coffee. Coffee flavored tequila. Ooh, coffee flavored tequila. Live streamers. What do y'all think about that? That would be interesting. Really? Garbage. Is that what that is? Or is that
Let's get back inside.
It's actually called. Yeah, just text me. Is he getting a car? Like, is he getting the car, or is he going to get it back? Okay. You want to take? Oh, that's what I was asking. If he was having the car ready, like, no, I think the phone call stuff. Yeah, I'm way behind on my time. I'm really screwed up.
When is this thing with Shaw stuff?
Oh, for sure. We eat That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll text you on my way down. See where y'all at. Was it to get downstairs? No, I remember going to the pool, but. Jen, obviously, we'll make this really quick. Patrick, I'll do a really quick segment right here to get us on track, and then we'll come back and do our playoff picks. Is that good?
Yeah.
Right.
Boy, is that.
Yeah, I'll be back.
We don't have it. I mean, we don't have anything else. I think it's just you and me for the rest of the show and Jen, right? Am I right on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 4 minutes right now. 8:32 should put us back on track or close to it.
All right, guys are up.
Just let this play. I'm jumping around. That's a good tradition, right, Patrick? The jump around. Yeah, in Wisconsin, for those of you out there who are. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. We're going to stop it now then, I guess. I think there's limits on how long we can play that. But that's fun. Yeah, that and the polka song that we play now are jazzy tunes that get you going up and happy on a Friday morning. Game week, South Carolina, Georgia State. Patrick I've talked a lot about the offensive line this week, and I'll get your take on this as well now because you followed South Carolina certainly with I'm saying it. The offensive line has got to come out tomorrow night. There is no excuse to not come out and push around Georgia State right off the bat. No excuse. 4 seniors, a junior, run the football. I forget if I know I asked you, but I forget what your answer was. I took Spencer Rattler under 265 yards because I think South Carolina runs the football efficiently tomorrow night. Your thoughts?
I think they need to, and they should. I don't know for sure that it's going to happen. I just think 265 seems like not that big a number. I guess when you sort of add it up, if South Carolina runs for 200 yards, then there's probably not 265 more to be had for Spencer Rattler, especially if they're sort of dominating the game and taking up chunk possessions and eating clock. So I don't think I'm kind of coming off that it's a must that he throws for 265, but I still kind of think that it's not asking all that much with all the weapons you've got to just air it out a little bit, couple deep balls. If you have one, 80-yard reception, then you're a third of the way there basically, and I can totally see them having like one monster play like that.
The phone lines are working. So, Jen, I apologize. I came back. I got so caught up in the jump around. Let's give away our 2 tickets right now to the football game tomorrow night that we are discussing, South Carolina, Georgia State, 803-404-6100. Call in right now. Caller number 10 will win a pair of tickets tomorrow night for the South Carolina Georgia State game. You can go, you can tailgate. Patrick, what's on the tailgating menu for you tomorrow?
I don't know. I've been eating much healthier the last couple of weeks, so I think it might be fairly light. I think I might just be swallowed up by football and just locked into all the games and not actually really feasting like that.
Oh, it's not a big cooking day in the Barrett household? You're not doing that?
No, I don't think so. We've been pretty good the last week. I've been meal prepping all week, and I don't know that it's going to be a day where we can really just binge.
Okay. All right. So will there be one special dish, though? At least one thing. 803-404-6100. If you've got one special dish tomorrow, ribs, wings, steaks, burgers, what is your go-to tomorrow for football? You don't have one piggies in a
No, I'm
blanket?
actually no. If anybody's got like a healthy tailgate item, other than like wings and sliders and pigs in the blanket, all that stuff that's fried or carb loaded, and what is someone's like go to? I don't want to eat like a veggie tray. I'm not going to do that. That's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But is there anything that's like not packed with carbs
That's on the menu?
that anyone makes, that anyone's like healthy tailgate food?
Yeah, no, tomorrow is a massive cheat day across the country for everybody with college football. We'll continue talking about that. We've got our picks out. Our 5 picks we did not do, and we'll do it in the next segment. We'll do our lock of the week. We did not do that. We did pick our 5 games: Georgia State, South Carolina. We both took South Carolina. North Carolina, Appalachian State, UNC -3.5. I took North Carolina. Patrick went with, I guess, an upset, -3.5 or +3.5, taking App State. I took Georgia. Patrick took Georgia as well, -16.5 over Oregon. We both took Utah -2.5 over Florida, and then we split on Notre Dame, Ohio State -17.5. I'm going with Notre Dame to get in there and cover that 17.5. He's taking Ohio State. We'll give our locks of the week. Also, we've yet to do it. May as well do it today because it's a good time to do it. We'll give our college football playoff picks of the year as well when we return. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Purchasing a home these days, oh boy, it can be a wild experience. You need somebody out there that can help you, that is trustworthy, that knows what they're doing, that have been in the business for a long time. And with Buford Lending and Benji Getsy, that is exactly what you get. 843-524-2404. Call Benji Getsy and Buford Lending today. Get in touch with him. Help get you pre-qualified. That's right. That's a big thing. You don't want to just get qualified. You want to get pre-qualified. And the reason is you know how much you can spend, what kind of houses you're looking at. I'm telling you what, if you've paid any attention to the stock market, if you paid any attention to interest rates, if you paid any attention to what's going on, you know purchasing a home these days is an absolutely wild experience, and you need somebody with experience. You need somebody that's trustworthy. You need somebody you can depend on to help you through the process. I believe in Benji Getsy. He's helped me in the past. He'll help you. 843-524-2404. Why go to Wall Street? Why go down and do all that when you can go to Bay Street right there? Benji Getsy, he's taking care of people across the state. Even though it's called Buford Lending, he is our broker. I believe in him. You will too once you give him a phone call and let him and his team take care of you. 843-524-2404. You can visit them on the web, www.buford.mortgage. Let me repeat that again, www.buford.mortgage, or give them a phone call today, 843-524-2404. That's Benji Getsy and Buford Lending.
I-20 eastbound at Spears Creek Church Road, the right lane currently blocked. Also have a report of the people on the highway I-26 eastbound just after Piney Grove Road. Caution. Travel through that area. And I-77 northbound at Bluff Road. Report of an accident there. Mix of clouds and sun today, 89 for the high, 87 tomorrow with some scattered storms possible in the afternoon.
got a hole in your roof where you need a whole new roof, you need to call Midstate Roofing, 356-1919. For nearly a quarter of a century, Midstate Roofing has established its reputation as the leader in the roofing industry. Whether it's above your head or at your feet, perhaps a leaky foundation, 356-1919 is the number to call for all your roofing and waterproofing needs. The quality and craftsmanship of a Midstate roofing system are tops in the industry, especially commercial and industrial roofing systems. If you own or you're in charge of a large building, warehouse, or industrial facility, then you're in charge of that roof. And at some point, a roof is going to need some attention. So the number to call for advice, service, results, and a commitment to customer satisfaction is 356-1919. See all that Midstate has to offer when you click on MidstateRoofing.com. Tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
356-1919, MidstateRoofing.com.
The demand for your used car is at an all-time high, and it's never been worth more. Herndon Chevrolet needs your trade. We'll buy your car, even if you don't buy ours. And to prove it, we're willing to beat any written offer by $500. That's right, we'll beat any written offer by $500. Visit Herndon Chevrolet today.
Oh, all right. Let's see here. Now I'm trying to get out and get back to Lexington here.
It could be EPI or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't really send up digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Staples has everything for school at great prices. So this year you won't go back to school. You'll be ready to move forward and master fifth grade math.
I can't do this. It's impossible.
Not you, Dad. Your daughter. Staples will help her move forward.
Right.
Right now, Staples one-subject notebooks are just 35 cents each. Plus, during the backpack clearance event, you'll save up to 50% on select backpacks, lunch bags, and water bottles. Staples, this year we're not going back. We're going forward to school. In-store only at 9/3/11:30 on notebooks.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, count on the experts at Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine to get you big again. Our highly specialized physicians offer comprehensive care for patients at 5 convenient locations throughout the Midlands. Whether you're an athlete looking to return to your sport after injury or someone who needs help with hip, elbow, shoulder, or foot pain, we're here with you. Our expert team can get you better sooner. Visit lexmed.com/Quilco to learn more.
Hey, Dad, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while. Yeah, I've really fallen off since I turned 40. I just don't get the results I used to get.
All right. I think we are ready to check out. They're ready. Like literally, as soon as we end this, I'm gonna legitimately like my bag is already by the door. I'm gonna throw the radio equipment in the. I'm already sending in the. Apparently, we're doing a McDonald's breakfast, so we can get back. I think we're gonna go to. If anybody on the live stream is out in the Lexington area, I think we're gonna try and go to Twin Cities out in Batesburg. (803-404-6100) is how you can be a part of the program this morning. Congratulations to Casey Clyburn for winning the tickets to the South Carolina Georgia State game tomorrow night. Hope you have a great time. Patrick, this weekend, the NASCAR boys head back to Darlington. I should bring that up. The last time they were down in Darlington, you were down there partying out there with all the folks in the infield.
I know, and I wish I was there this weekend because when we were there, we had a good time. We were in the infield, but everyone we talked to was like, "No, you need to come to the real race. The Southern 500 is a different level." So I would love to see what the scene in the infield's like for a race like this.
So, Jen, let's do this right now. Let's go ahead and give away a pair of weekend passes to Darlington. Unfortunately, Patrick, you're not allowed to win, but you can get a pair of tickets for tomorrow's Sport Clips Haircuts Help a Hero 200 Xfinity race, and you can win a pair of tickets to the Cookout Southern 500 on Sunday. That's the real prize right there. Caller number 6, 803-404-6100. You can win a pair of passes, weekend passes to Darlington. Be a blast down there. You can check out tomorrow night's Sports Clips Haircuts Help a Hero 200 Xfinity race, and you can get a pair of tickets to the Cookout Southern 500, 803-404-6100. Caller number 6, Jen, I think is what you want to go with, which is about the place you are in, your 6th place in our current standings in our NASCAR Pick'em. Just checking to see if you were paying. You had it correct the first time when you said guru. I'm not a guru. Guru. Speaking of gurus, Patrick, what do you got? College football playoff this year. We'll get to in the next segment, we'll get our locks of the week. But I know you've been hyping this. You've been ready since I don't know, about mid-July to give your last year you were all over it. You called Georgia from the get-go. You were fired up. You were a Georgia Bulldog fan from the absolute get-go. You nailed that one. Who are you going with this year for your college football playoff?
Well, I would love to get a sleeper like Georgia. I mean, Georgia's not really a sleeper, but it had been 40 years since they won a national title, so it was sort of a hot take. I can't give one this year because I cannot picture a world where Alabama doesn't win the title this year. I know Nick Saban was mad during his radio show. If you saw that people were talking about Alabama being a national championship team instead of talking about Alabama's game versus Utah State tomorrow night, but no, I think they're just too good. Will Anderson's the best player in college football. And then by the end of the year, there's going to be a hot take artist saying that Dallas Turner's even better than he is. That pass rush is going to be ridiculous. Their offense is just so loaded. Jahmyr Gibbs might win the Heisman this year. He's probably going to come out of nowhere and end up being a top 50 pick next year. They're just so good. I cannot picture them not winning the title, and I can't picture them or Ohio State losing a game. So that's my national title game. 1-2 will be Alabama-Ohio State, and I think they're going to play Clemson. I think the schedule's too kind. I think their defense is going to be too dominant. The only huge challenge that I think they're going to have is that NC State game. NC State's the only team that can match up with them physically, but I think Clemson, if they go 11-1, they'll probably still be fine. And same thing, I think, with Utah. I think if Utah wins tomorrow night, they're going to be on the fast track, really, to a college football playoff berth. If they go 11-1, they'll probably be okay, too, because I think the SEC title game will be a 12-0 Bama versus an 11-1 Georgia. And when Bama wins that one, they're not going to put a 2-loss Georgia in.
I don't know how. So what have you got? You got Bama. Did I get an Ohio State in there? Utah, and who was your fourth?
And Clemson.
You're going Clemson?
Yeah. I think the fifth. I think the fifth spot will be a 1-loss Oklahoma, and that'll be the debate at the end of the year. They'll say, maybe 1 or 2-loss Oklahoma conference champion versus a 1-loss Pac-12 champion. Yeah, that'll be the debate.
Yeah, and I'm dead serious when I say this. I'm not being a homer. I don't think Clemson. I got Clemson at the under 10.5. I just think they lose 2 games along the way. I'm going to go, and I don't know how this is going to work because of what you just said, but I'm going to go Bama. I'm going to go Ohio State. I'm going to go Utah, and I think Georgia gets back in. But I don't know how because I'm with you on Georgia and Bama in the SEC championship game, and I don't feel like they want a rematch. And I feel like Georgia, if they lose that game, that it ends up being a 1-4 scenario. So I'm hesitant. I don't know how it's going to work, but if I'm just picking 4 teams, I'm with you on Utah. I like the Utes. I think that the Pac-12 finally gets one in there or gets another team in. They hadn't had one since Oregon. I think Utah, this is their year. You look at the schedule. At Florida, I think they win that, but then Southern Utah. Okay, I didn't even know there was a Southern Utah. San Diego State, sneaky tough game, but it's at Rice-Eccles. at Arizona State, Oregon State, UCLA. Southern Cal is in again. Utah, it's in Salt Lake City on October the 15th. At Washington State, Arizona, Stanford. At Oregon, who, again, that's the end of the season on November 19th. And at Colorado, I've got Utah getting to the college football playoff. I'm not sure Utah's not undefeated, Patrick, when they get there. We'll come back. We'll wrap up that thought. Again, we'll make sure we get those picks locked in. And we've got our picks, our locks. We've already made our 5-game picks of the week, but we'll put in our locks of the week as well. You don't want to miss that, of course, because we're helping make you money. You're listening to Patrick Perrett and Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. All right. We'll use the potty real quick. We're good.
Man.
You got your pick of the week, your lock of the week?
Yup.
All right.
Who on the live stream is going to the game tomorrow night? This night slate is just so freaking loaded. I can't watch it at a bar because I don't even think the South Carolina game will be on because there's so many other games, good games. I mean, truly, within a 30-minute span, we got Utah at Florida, monster game. Notre Dame, Ohio State at 6:30. South Carolina, I guess 7:30, 6:30 here. South Carolina. Memphis at Mississippi State would normally be a game that I'd be really excited to watch. Louisville at Syracuse, exciting. I want to watch Malik Cunningham every chance I get. Oh, a midnight kick. Is that what I'm seeing here for Western Kentucky at Hawaii?
Yeah, phones are working just fine. If we don't answer, it's probably because we've already gotten the winner. I've tried to do that where I answer the phone and tell everybody, hey, we already got a winner, but there's so many calls that come in. I got other stuff going on. So
yeah, it is a busy morning. No, you're doing good. Everything okay back there? Everything working?
Yeah, it seems to be. It's just I got thrown behind on some audio stuff with having to fiddle with the phones. But yep, we did have our winner. Gal from Batesburg won, so for Darlington. So that's awesome. But appreciate you checking, Sonny.
So Brittany Rowe, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out you do attract the female crowd to listen to the program. Or she just got confused and was listening to the wrong station.
Well, she knew what she was calling for, so.
Good. Oh, that's important.
Yeah, it's a female who likes NASCAR, so I'm excited.
Nice.
Okay, what else was I pulling? Oh my gosh.
Without worrying for your future. At the X Law Firm, we've handled hundreds for everyday hard work like you, right here in Carolina. Don't face the IRS alone. Know your legal rights. Call me, set up your appointment. First, completely free and confidential. You'll meet a licensed attorney in person at our office in Irmo, just off I-26. If you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Exton, at 803.
Oh, bell. That's what I was. Oh, where's how did I? I was gonna put a belt on for the ride back. I don't know why. But I don't think that's it. Nah, that sunlight's coming in behind me. The stadium's on the other side. There's a pool here. I'll admit this is a neat little trip.
Love Chevy, I-26 in Harvard. LoveChevy.com. Find new roads. Hey, if you've got a hole in your roof, you need a whole new roof. You need to call Vince Steve Moving, 356-1919. For nearly a quarter of a century, that room. And at some point, a room is going to need some attention. So the number to call for advice, service, results, and a commitment to customer satisfaction is 356-1919. See all that Midstate has to offer when you click on midstateroofing.com. Tell them Midstate was.
You have a leak, let it
Okay.
356-1919. midstateroofing.com. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
I don't have a white towel. It's no point. I don't have a white towel to start with. I'm in the hotel room just randomly waving my hand around. You could have seen it if you were on the live stream. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game, click join, subscribe. Yeah, Patrick's bouncing around. Jen, put your shirt back on.
I don't have a towel either.
Alone in the studio by herself. Good grief. I tell you what. 803-404-6100. Yeah, none of us. Getting you up and ready. Pearson Fowler up next. Jay, Tommy, and Terry coming up from 12 to 3. Heath Klein, let's remind you, Heath Klein today out at Columbia Craft. You can go out and hang out with the one and only Heath Klein and his magical singing voice. 3 to 6 today, Columbia Craft on Green Street. Columbia Craft can be your game day headquarters. Columbia Craft proudly distributed throughout the Midlands by KW Beverage. Patrick, let's get to the locks of the week. I'll go ahead and tell you mine, and you can take the same one. I think you like it as well. I think everybody does. I'm nervous about it, though. When you have a game like LSU, Florida State, where I think it's widely regarded that LSU is the better team, I think that what you end up getting there is a line that hasn't moved all week. It's 3.5. I'm still going to go with LSU. I'm taking the Tigers to knock off Florida State.
I'm not going to take it because you took it, but I'm not nervous at all. LSU is going to win that game by double digits. They're better than Florida State at pretty much every position. Clemson probably does have the best D-line in the country, but LSU is a close number 2, if not a 1A to their 1B. Ali Gay, Bijay Ojulari on the outside will both be NFL guys. Jacqueline Roy will be a top 100 pick this year. And then Mason Smith is going to be talked about as the best interior lineman in the country going into next season. Their wide receiver group, Jack Beck's going to be a household name. Kayshon Boutte already is. Malik Neighbor. LSU's so good. I think they're going to be number 2 in the West. But I am going with the hometown team, my new hometown team. They got a first place vote for the SEC for a reason. I told you they're going to hit their win total by the time we get out of September. They're the most dynamic offense in the country, as evidenced by week 0. The Vanderbilt Commodores. Minus 17.5 over Elon. It's a lock. It's a stone cold lock. Put Mike Wright on Heisman watch.
Patrick, score for this. You want to give a score prediction for South Carolina, Georgia State? We both took them to cover. You got a score?
Yeah, 38-17. I think they got to at least double them up.
I'm gonna say it's close. I've said this. I'm gonna go somewhere in the ballpark of 2 field goals, 34-24. South Carolina scores late to put this game away. Jen, thank you for all you've done back in the studio. I know it's been a busy morning. We've had a lot going on. I'm in Atlanta, but I'm heading back right now. Patrick, good to see you and hear from you again. Look forward to next Friday when you join us again.
Happy football, everybody.
Happy football. See you Monday. We're back on then.
All right.
We will see you all after. We'll be there.
Jen, I apologize. I sent you that text. Did you say something in my ear right as we were starting the
Oh, I was just letting you know you had 2 minutes, basically.
Oh, 2 minutes. Okay, all right, good. That freaked me out. I thought you said tickets, and I was like, what are we going to give away now? So, good deal. Everybody, thank you on the live stream. Patrick, welcome back. Look forward to seeing you next Friday.
Yeah, we'll see you same time next week. Enjoy. It's a great slate this weekend. Everybody have fun.
It is a phenomenal.
Good long weekend.
Y'all take care.
See ya.